Hey guys, this is Gamer Cowboy with another Touhou Lost Branch of Legend playthrough. I noticed when playing back on YouTube last time there was a little bit of stutter every like 55 or so minutes, so we're gonna split the thing here. I just have to do some actual video editing. How about that? We are playing Cirno for this run, and there's been another new version. The main thing this version changes is that shops can now perform upgrades instead of just removing cards, so that's going to make them a little bit more feasible. We're on to Cirno A today, and Cirno as a whole is the newest character that's been released. She is the new character that has been released since the game came out, so she is the one who has had the most changes and is the most likely to change in the future. Your mileage may vary depending on how this goes. We're going with Cirno A, of course, who is the blue specialist, the freeze mechanic. So yeah, it used to be freeze, but now it is cold, is strictly speaking what it's called, and that makes the opponent that it's afflicted on lose 9 life at the end of your turn. However, if you can inflict cold multiple times, you get to do much more damage as you go along. So her spell card does AoE damage and puts cold on every enemy, her starting exhibit gives you a glacier which can put cold on the enemy, and her main unique card, as we'll see, the freeze beam, inflicts cold as well. So hopefully we'll be able to do some fun stuff here. One of the other thing Cirno specializes in is frost armor, which is a pretty cool trait that hopefully we'll get to show, and teammates are mostly a Cirno thing. There is one for Reimu and like one normal one or so, but it is mostly Cirno at this point. Now that shops can upgrade cards, the sponsor here gets a lot more powerful, because you could actually take an Act 1 shop now if you want to. Pretty cool. We are just going to take the free upgrade though, and we can see the freeze beam over here. So 2 blue mana, 10 damage, apply cold. So reasonable. Does 19 for 2, that's actually a little bit higher than the average power curve, but it is effective if the opponent's got amulet and stuff like that, so Reimu doesn't get hit as badly. But if you upgrade it, it can do this to 2 enemies, which actually makes it super good into a couple of the elites in the early stage as well. So this is a really good card to have around at the start of the game. We are still going to take the 20 max life here. One of the fun things with Cirno, because she starts with 79 life, it's obviously meant so that if you take the 20 max life, you're at 99 now. So, you know, just Cirno things, right? She also only starts with 30 money, so giving up your money for a random rare exhibit at the start isn't actually that bad either. Not quite as good as for Reimu, but not too far from it. So let's just go for, we'll go for the upgrade path anyway, but I might actually take an elite depending on what we get at the start here. Unfortunately, don't open with freeze beam. That would have been super good against these. We could have taken out 2 of them because the barriers do not affect your cold damage. So I think we can still take out 1, which is pretty good because they're doing quite a bit of damage. So we'll do this one, and then we'll put cold on it. So now it will just fall to that. And since we will draw freeze beam next turn, we'll just use the block here, and everything will hopefully be fine. Yeah, we get frail instead of weaken, so we are fine. So we'll use our upgraded freeze beam, 10 damage, and cold to both of them. And the cold breaks everything. We just get to beat them up because it doesn't care about block. So yeah, Cirno's really good at the early game stuff, for sure. 3 decent cards to show off here, although they're mostly cards for the other Cirno styles. Careful Deliberation is okay. You get a choose effect, so you can either gain 13 block or draw 3 cards. One thing this could be kind of decent for, it's a skill, not a defense card. So it doesn't trigger the Wolf Tengu's effect for firepower, and it also there's an exhibit that if you don't play defense cards in the previous turn, you gain 2 blue mana, so this could be kind of good for that. Daiose is the main teammate of the green style that we'd be looking at. We're not really going to go into them too much here, but they are effectively summons that we keep in hand. but this is not really something I want because it's too green, and you don't get that reduced at all. And then extending arm, it still hasn't been fixed yet. It's obviously supposed to be extending arm. Maybe I'll bring that up later, actually. For blue and green mana, you do only 12 damage, but if there's 6 or more cards in the hand, you gain 2 mana back. When you upgrade this, it gains 2 rainbow, which is really good. I guess we will take it, but I don't know. It's kind of an awkward one to start with, but it's worth the upgrade at least. Alright. Moon's making your hair fluffy again. Pretty sure we've seen most of the events at this point. So yeah, you can either gain some power or gain an exhibit and a bit of a dead tool, but we might be able to transform that later. So we will see. Getting glomped by Karos feels so warm. Before this patch, this text was actually incorrect. Not incorrect, but it was like a line dot thing because the localization wasn't finished for it yet. So yeah, error text. We get the ice cube from it though, which is amazing. I mean, you would expect it, right? Because it's for Cirno. This did actually get nerfed by 1 point. Whenever 5 blue mana is spent, gain 5 barrier. It used to gain 6, but it is still incredibly good for Cirno here. So yeah, happy for that. Let's continue down the upgrade path then, because we'll get another fight here, see what we can do. 12 damage, huh? That is quite a bit. So as you can see, because of the fact that we have the arm in our opening hand here, we can just go ahead and use this and gain some mana back. So we'll gain a rainbow and a colorless. That's fine, because the colorless can be used to shoot this guy. And now we will go freeze beam. And here's what happens when you apply cold a second time. It does double cold damage and keeps the cold on the opponent. So you do 18 if you can apply cold consecutively. This is one of the main things you want to try and get to with Cirno, is applying as much cold as possible as you go through the run. So that is our goal. See what cold generation tools we can get. Okay, so 3 different cards to look at here. In Plain Sight is actually pretty good, probably taking this one. 13 block for a single green is very solid. The Overdraft one is a little annoying, means one of your mana at random is going to be unable to be used next turn, but when you upgrade this it removes the Overdraft, so that's actually really good. Lily is the second teammate. This one I could see being used because it isn't double green, and you gain mana every turn, so it's quite solid. When you play it, she does some damage as well, so that's kind of nice. And then if you've got a lot of abilities, Sewer Clear Water is pretty good. 6 damage 2 times, and for every ability you've played that fight, it increases the damage. Upgrading it also makes it only cost 2, so that's actually kind of good. We're going to take the defense card because I think that's going to be more generally applicable. My goodness, these motorbikes are stupidly loud. Apologies for that. We're going to increase the arm power first, I think, because if you upgrade it, it does 16, and you get 2 rainbows instead of rainbow plus colorless, so it becomes a lot more useful. So we'll go for that first. Now, I think we haven't actually fought against Reimu yet, so Reimu is going to be our character of choice to play against in this round. So we will see how that goes. Now, we still don't have much money whatsoever here, so we're just going to still take the upgrade path. I do want to fight elites for the rest of this, so that is what we shall do. Let's see where we can go. 18 damage on the first turn. That is an awful lot to go against, huh? I don't overly love the idea of overdrafting this turn, but I think I probably have to, so let's just go ahead and do that, I suppose. So we only have 4 mana next turn now, but we did get a pretty powerful effect out of it here. We spent 1 mana to do 13 block. That's pretty good. And we have enough block that I can only take like 2 damage here. That's fair. I guess if I took 7, I could take... I'd be taking more for the other guy. Yeah, we'll do double block and freeze beam. Take this one out. Oh, we get the barrier too, right? We're not taking any damage here. Yeah, because we've spent 5 blue mana total between the 2 turns. Yeah, pretty good. That's, I mean, what else do you want me to say? So since we haven't used the Glacier yet, we do have extending arm like still available, which is pretty good here. So we can do that. And now gain our 7 block, which will be enough. Freeze Beam can finish everything off. Kill that one first because the other one will put vulnerable on you. So that would make you take 50% more damage. I think we still would have been fine, but we might have taken some extra damage because it would be 9 for the Revenge Bullet. That's not good. So yeah. Fairies Wake Up, this just got its artwork completed recently, and I think this looks amazing, to be honest with you. Yeah, double your existing mana for 1, cost 0 when you upgrade it, but you do overdraft 2 for the next turn. Mana doesn't carry over unless you get an exhibit for it, so yeah, it can be a bit dangerous. I don't think I want a second in plain sight right now. I mean, it is good, but I would need to chain upgrades on it. I'm going to take the Heavenly Water Miracle. It's expensive because you do have to play 4 mana for it, but you gain some barrier and you draw an extra card every turn for the rest of that fight. 18 barrier if you upgrade it, which is pretty good, so we're going to aim to do that as well. It kind of doubles as a admittedly expensive, but it doubles as a defense card, as well as being able to draw additional stuff as well. I don't know if we've actually truly explained the yin-yang orbs between the stuff here. The red one gains a firepower every turn, the blue one gains a spirit every turn. Blue one tends to add some defense to the red ones as well, so they can sort of back each other up quite a bit, which is irritating, but we can handle that. So this is where having the 1 mana block is pretty useful, even if it is going to overdraft us next turn. We don't take damage this turn, and that is rather useful. So yeah, you can see he's got 9 barrier around him now, and they're going to do 19 damage. That is an awful lot. Can we do much about that? Not with 4 mana, because I could Freeze Beam, but that isn't really going to help. So I'm just going to go defense here, and get a little bit of extra barrier as well. Hopefully this will be good enough where we can kind of do some more stuff with it here. And I think so, because we do have extending arms. So 16, getting the mana back as well. I don't think that mana is going to do a whole lot for us this turn, but we can play the Miracle, I guess. Fine. And then we'll use our Glacier, because now that's going to do 9 damage and going to take out the guy. Now we just gotta deal with this one, but he doesn't keep getting stronger as we go, so we have enough defense at this point that it should be fine. I just have to draw attack cards, which is admittedly not what we've done here. So let's just put the block up so we don't lose barrier. And eventually we'll get through. That's really what it comes down to. Freeze Beam, Ice Shot, and shoot. A little bit of damage. One thing we could do here, since we have so much block and whatnot, we could, like, sandbag here. If you're playing optimally, I think what you want to do from this point is make sure that you can get the wolf fur cut down by 1 as well. But I'm not going to bother doing that here, because that's going to take too long. But I think you would just, like, play a defense card that turn in order to wait until you draw the wolf fur so you can get one of the ticks down on it. That would probably be the best play, but yeah, a little bit too like long of a play, I think. A couple of decent ones to show here. Fairy on Ice is really good when you upgrade it because it costs 1. Draw 3 cards, and for each enemy that has cold, you gain a graze, so that's pretty useful. Vivid Color Downpour is okay as well if you've got a lot of rainbow generation, but that doesn't tend to be like Cirno's specialty here. It's a little bit difficult to really use this card, to be honest, just because like the colors that it's in, you don't really get a lot of rainbow stuff to go with that. We're going to take Fairy on Ice, and I'm probably just going to straight away upgrade that, to be honest, because as much as I want to upgrade these two, I think getting Draw 3 for 1 mana in, Act 1 is stupid good, especially when you've got these bozos to deal with. Now, the one problem is we haven't really gotten a ton of AoE to deal with them yet, so we're in a little bit of a spot against them, but Freeze Beam is really powerful, so we can get quite a lot off of that. Unfortunately, Star is the one that's doing the spell card here. That's dangerous because 4 lock-on is a lot to deal with here. So how do we want to go about that is the question. I think we definitely are looking to play the Glacier this turn, because doing 18 is too much to not play. So let's just think a little bit about how we're dealing with the stuff here. If we do 18 damage, it's another 9 from the cold, so it's 27. We can actually just play all 3 of these and take a knockout this turn. Probably gonna end up taking 12, I think, would be the play here, because I think taking out Luna would be better. The reason is, even though we're taking 12 here, these two are both going to attack next turn, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do 27 damage in one turn. Usually about 25 is where you would cap out. We do still have a decent number of attacks to go, but we have both of our shoots in hand, which means, yeah, it's like not possible whatsoever. So I think I'm just going to take the 12, and we're going to knock out Luna this turn. I think that makes the most sense, because, I mean, we also avoid the status card going in the deck, which is a small benefit, but I think it makes the most sense because now we're only taking 1 attack per turn, because they always alternate between attacking and not attacking. And this is not an amazing hand for avoiding damage, but because we have the Ice Cube, we can avoid further damage this turn, despite that, which is really good. So Ice Cube is going to give us the final 5 points of defense that we need, and I'm happy enough with that. Okay, so here is one of the reasons why we need a lot of card draw, because now we can play Extending Arm as well. So if we go draw 3, now we have more than 6 cards in hand, so we can play Extending Arm, and that gives us an extra 2 mana to play with. So we can Freeze Beam, take her out, and also do a little bit of damage to our star over here as well. Now the last thing to do is to play the Wolf Fur, because we don't need defense this turn, she's not attacking, so we'll play the Fur, and that also counts as a blue mana towards the Ice Cube too. So even though it's probably not gonna matter, it might do. We might actually be able to get some more use out of that. Nothing too fancy this turn, so let's just do a little bit of damage, make sure that we don't take any damage as well. And from here the fight is basically one, it's just how many turns do we need for it, and the answer is, like, none, because we have that. Just make sure that we don't take any damage off the refracted sunlight here, because that happens at the end of the turn. We had the barrier, so we would have been fine, but just as a, you know, for future reference sort of thing, if you can avoid taking damage on your barrier, you want to, because you really just want to be able to, you know, preserve that for as long as possible. The Parasol of Gaps is a fantastic tool to get here, from the exhibit stuff. At the start of your 3rd turn, each combat, you gain 20 block and 3 Philosopher's Mana, so 3 rainbows. Extra mana on the 3rd turn, really good. 20 block is super nice too, so yeah, very happy to see that. Play with Water, also very happy to see that here. A couple other cards are worth sort of noting. Yummy Fruit Freezies got reworked fairly recently. I think this used to like do extra damage if you had a teammate in hand or something, like do damage another time. But now it's a global do 17 for 3 mana, which is reasonable. But if you've summoned a teammate in the same turn, then it costs 0 to play, which is rather powerful. And AoE is good to take, so this would be a solid option here, but Play with Water, just getting extra draws is too strong. Great Fairy Wall is also interesting. I wouldn't call this one good per se, but I guess if you're super heavy into teammates, if you've got teammate generation, maybe this is okay. For 2 mana, you can exile any number of teammates in the hand. They don't have to be summoned, I'm pretty sure. So it's like you can exile the teammates, you gain mana equal to their cost. So if you've got a lot of card draw alongside this, it's probably fine. And then you do 15 damage to a random enemy per one of these that you exile. You don't have to do you don't have to like exile a teammate in order to do 15 damage, but 15 random damage for 2 mana, not that impressive to be honest. Especially when it exiles itself as well. But we'll take Play with Water because drawing cards is super good, and we can make a great use of that. Oh, we're losing out on the spacesuit. No, this is really nice. I would love to have seen this, but we can't use it, so oh well. Gotta take the glasses because technically there is a way of getting to the final boss otherwise, but it forces you to skip Act 3, and that's not what we're about. So yeah. Little bit of a shame to see that, but it is what it is. let's keep going. We're not really getting many events in Act 1 here, we're just doing a lot of fights, but I think that's fine. So, let's see what we can do. Okay, so I think what we're going to plan on doing here actually is make the enemy cold so we can gain a graze off of this. Start with extending arm, of course, because anytime we can get an extra thing off of that, we always want to. So, yep, definitely go there. And then, yeah, I think we want to apply the cold here, and then use Fairy on Ice to draw free. We will gain a graze, so now this 12 does not hit us. So we don't need to play a defense card this turn, which is pretty good. Now we can go to Freeze Beam, get a bunch of damage off. Remember, the cold does not care about block or barrier, so the 18 damage is direct here. And then we will hit with the last little bit that we have. Extra 9 direct as well, which is pretty good. And yeah, just graze straight through the thing. This turn, we don't have enough block, but we do have the barrier. So we can go ahead and just tank it using the barrier, and I think that's probably fair. So we'll go just defensive, like Ice Shot, and then just block everything from here. Seems alright. Next turn we've got the Parasol of Gaps, so we do get blocked for free, but unfortunately, just by the way the turns go, she's not attacking anyway, so yeah, bit of a shame. We don't really have much to play this turn either, so I guess we'll just do what we can. Play the extra block cards once again because we have the Ice Cube. You want to make sure you use as much blue mana as possible. The Philosophers do count for that, so yeah. Okay, now, once again, extending arm. Get our stuff through. We've got a lot of barriers, so we really don't have to worry too much about taking damage here. Do we have enough to knock her out for that? We certainly do. And we have 5 mana too. We are forced to discard a card right now, but that is fine. We'll use our Wolf first, so we just get one more proc out of that. So now we only have to use it once more. If we could just get rid of it rather than having to remove it from a shop, that just makes it so much better. Another Lily. Here's an interesting one, and I think this is probably the first one that's going to be worth taking here. Blizzard is an expensive AoE, but it's 16 to each enemy, and you put cold on them. If we can get Letty later on, and we can summon Letty, then we get this effect again at the start of our next turn. So it ends up being, especially when you upgrade, it ends up being cool. Does 24 damage base, and it's really good for this fight. Unfortunately, we don't spike it in the opening hand, which is a bit annoying, but okay. So the one problem that I can see here right now, we are probably taking some damage here. I think we need to just go for the card draw first, because I want to draw Blizzard, right? And Blizzard costs 4 mana. Didn't get it. Okay, yeah, it was like I could put Cold on the enemy first and that'd be fine, but I really wanted to draw the Blizzard to make this work. Didn't happen, but it is what it is. We can still take out 2 of them. Oh, we could have taken out 2 of them, but I used the wrong mana for it. Whoops. I was gonna Freeze Beam and take out the Black Kodama, but since I didn't, you're gonna take a lot more damage than I was wanting here. Be careful what mana you use for what here. I should have done Freeze Beam first. Yeah, we take like 2 damage. We could have avoided taking that here. Okay, and now we can't use Extending Arm for its power aspect as well, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, make sure your mana is getting used on the right stuff. That's the lesson to learn from that. It's okay. We can survive this though. So you do still get to do the damage at least, which is nice. But we're taking a bit more, I think. Oh no, we're not taking damage because we have exactly the right amount here. And now we get Blizzard, so now the game is over. Yeah, taking a little bit of unnecessary damage. Not where you want to be, but, you know, mistakes were made. And there is the Letty straight away as well. So Letty's interesting because, I mean, she costs 3 regardless, but she doesn't have a passive, like, she doesn't have like a normal effect you can activate. She has the ultimate skill, but she doesn't have an active skill. Her passive reduces her Unity, and which is not what they normally do. They are normally positive Unity, that's how you normally get it. But you apply cold to a random enemy, which is pretty okay. But if you play this, you can effectively play this like an attack, where you do 10 damage to every enemy and apply cold to those enemies, if you so choose. There's different modes for it. Is kind of nice, to be honest. If you upgrade it, it gets 5 unity, which is actually really good. So I guess we are going to explain the teammate thing as we go here, but Letty's a bit of a weird one to explain it with, so maybe we'll do that later. I don't know. Let's go for upgrading, probably in plain sight, just so I can use it without overdrafting, since we do have a little bit of stuff that's kind of expensive for that now. Alright. Normally I would want to do as much damage as I can in the opener here, but I think I'm just going to go for the barrier here and just do a tiny bit, because now I get to draw more every time, and if I can draw into yeah, I was going to say if I could draw into Letty, that's probably really good for this fight. Okay, so extending arm for sure, we always do that first. I think I'm looking at it and I'm thinking Letty could actually just be used as its attack this time round. That's probably good, because if we take all of the these out, she doesn't get to explode any of them, like, she doesn't get to do this bit. She'll go for a different attack instead. So I think, even though I would like to keep hold of the stuff, I think this is what we'll do. So we'll use this. We have free unity, we can use the ultimate skill. This will always exile the teammate, even if you've got more than free unity left. But it's fine. We'll do our 10, put cold on everything, and then we can go for freeze beam. And that'll do 18 to her as well. And at the end of the turn, these guys all die to the other bit. And now, because we've killed at least 2 of them in the same turn, her attack pattern changes and now she goes for graze instead. But you see how much damage we've dealt to her here? It's quite impressive. And Blizzard is accurate, so it's going to punch through the graze here. So we'll get 16, we'll put cold on, and now our Glacier that we started with will finish her off. 0 damage taken. Chopper is an interesting card. We definitely want to see what the card reward is first. The exhibit Chopper over here upgrades 2 of your attack cards at random. So it's probably just going to be the basic cards, but we could upgrade... Oh yes, we could upgrade the Blizzard with that as well. Okay, couple of good cards to speak on here. Obviously we've seen Fairy War, but now we have a teammate that we could exile and get the mana off of it, I suppose. So, I mean, that's at least something. We don't want to exile Letty though, we want to keep her for the synergy. Autumnal Harvest is interesting. 1 green mana, add a Vitality, which is gain 2 green mana to the top of your draw pile. It has Replenish, which means it doesn't consume your draw, you draw an additional card as well. That's cool. If you upgrade it, it costs 1 and adds the rainbow on top instead. So this is also really good, especially if you can get the Tactical Conductor exhibit, but we're not going to rely on that too much. Free Shot is the first of, apart from just looking awesome, is the first of the Frost Armor cards that I'm hoping to show here. So Frost Armor gives you defense. It gives you defense when you get it too, but it gives you defense at the start of your turn for every point of Frost Armor you have. It's kind of like the opposite of Time Pulse from the previous time, where instead of doing damage to the opponent, it gives you armor instead. Every time you take a hit, that armor goes down by 1. So you need a fair amount of these cards to make that generation not infinite, but like super meaningful. So hopefully we're going to see like 3 or 4 of these as we go through. If you upgrade it, it only costs 2 and you get 5 Frost Armor instead. So definitely going for that. And now the Chopper didn't upgrade Blizzard, but Ice Shot Shoot, that's not bad. 8 mana for 8 damage for 1 mana and 14 damage for 2, and it's not colored anymore. That's alright. We can accept that. Definitely going... Oh, I mean, there's so many good choices here. Like, Water Miracle is really good because you want to gain 18 barrier off of it. Play with Water becomes a 1 mana card and you don't have to discard guaranteed. Like, you can choose not to, so that's really good. Blizzard just becomes very powerful at dealing with stuff if you get it upgraded. But I think it's got to be the Free Shot here. 12 block, 15 Frost Armor. This basically means 17 block per use. It also gets around Frail a little bit because Frost Armor does not get reduced by Frail. So yeah, and it's any 2 mana, not with a blue in the cost. So I'm definitely going for that. And now we fight Reimu. Reimu got a slight buff recently, where I think it's one of her attacks just does a little bit more damage than it did before. Maybe she doesn't have a status effect as well. I don't think she does, but yeah, her initial attack just does a bit more. So she does 16 with Home and Amulet, and she'll always put Weaken. There's relatively consistent attack patterns that the characters have here. So for Reimu, she's going to do 16 and do a status condition, which is Weaken. She can do 5 times 4 as her base attack, or she does, I think it's 14 damage and prevents you from attacking next turn, which has a new visual effect too, as we'll see. The other stuff she does, she can set Barrier, which is 22 Barrier, I believe is what she gets when she sets it up again, and she has an Amulet too, which can refresh. That Amulet means that Cold is a little bit less effective against her initially, but will be able to defend against that as we do. So, Free Shot, particularly good here, since that will just kind of let me deal with this no problem. I don't have the mana for Freeze Beam because I keep forgetting the way this works out. Whatever. We're just going to go for Letty then. And the first thing that she does, inflict the cold, reduce her unity by 1, but the cold gets absorbed by the amulet. But it is bearable, I suppose, is probably the best way of putting it. Yeah, we have been weakened, so we do less damage this turn as well. Not the greatest, but it's fine. Let's go. I think this turn we'll go for putting the cold on, so we can gain a grace point here. That grace point means we'll take one of these 5 and it won't actually affect us, which is pretty good. Extending Arm can still get us double rainbow, so we'll do that. And then I think it's probably just block here is the best play, because yeah, we're gonna take damage otherwise, and we want to keep this little bit of barrier if we can. So let's just do this. Our Frost Armor is going to be used up by the fact that she does like 3 attacks here, so no more defense for us, basically. Although we do have the block here, so we can just go on the offense now. Now, this time we do have Blizzard available at full power, because we have Letty. It's only going to be for 1 more turn. She's going to exile herself when she hits 0 unity. But that's all we need, because we can hit this turn. We'll do 16, put cold on it, and then next turn we will do 16 and put cold on as well, which is really good. Other than that, I think this turn, because we don't need the block, I'm going to spend the rest of the mana going for Heavenly Water Miracle. Gain ourselves a little bit of extra barrier, and make sure that we draw extra cards for the rest of the game. Seems like the ideal play. She does have, she's going to set up the block stuff here for herself, but that is fine, we can deal with that. We have been weakened once again, kind of annoying, but I think it's okay, because this turn we could do a reasonable amount of damage, and this, more than any other turn, is probably the best time to get rid of this. Now that Wolf Fur is no longer in our deck whatsoever, and yeah, we just don't have to worry about it anymore. I should only gain 20 barrier this time. I swear I should gain 22 the last time I did this, but whatever. She's going to use the ceiling effect this turn, which is actually kind of annoying going straight into her bomb the turn after, but whatever, I suppose. Let's go for the Blizzard then. That's probably the most damage output I'm getting in this turn, so her amulet also gets recovered when she goes for defense as well, so that's why we didn't put cold on it here. And now, as you can see, we are sealed. We cannot play attack cards until the end of this turn. Her bomb is going to do 24 damage and give her 1 firepower. So we just have to defend against that, which is not too difficult. We've got 30 barrier already, but we can also Frost Armor up here. We've luckily drawn into like no attack cards, so we can basically just do whatever we want here. If we go in plain sight, we can just, I mean, we don't really need to draw any more than this, I don't think. We got any cards we don't want? There's a few. Probably do want to card draw, but then if I card draw, I'm going to draw into an attack that I don't want, so whatever. We're just going to play that. Again, make sure we use all of the blue mana possible, because using the blue mana means we get more barrier thanks to the Ice Cube. So the more barrier we've got, like the more of a buffer we've got against other like attacks coming up as well. So yeah, like this turn, because we don't have defense cards in this hand, so just going to play the Blizzard. I'm going to draw into an attack that I don't want, so whatever. Freeze Beam into Ice Shot here, but whatever. We're going to play Blizzard because it's cool. Frostbite. It is a blizzard after all, you would hope it'd be cool. Yeah, I think it was definitely better to do the other one, but whatever, who cares. Once again, standing arm, and then when she gets below about 110 HP or so, she'll summon 2 yin-yang orbs, like in consecutive turns. Summon the red one first and then the blue one. And those can also get kind of annoying, so you definitely don't want to hang around too long. Let's make sure the blue mana gets used up here from Philosopher stuff. Just do the little bit of damage that we can. She is taking a little bit more damage off the Shoot Plus, obviously. And here is the red orb. Yeah, this is the sort of point where playing Blizzard will end up being more powerful. But that is for later on. Right now, we have to just kind of do damage with what we've got. We can gain a couple of graze points here as well, actually, so we won't take any damage with on our barrier, which is quite nice. And this one does 14, so we'll use that one. Hopefully next turn we could draw into Blizzard again, that would be quite nice. Because the deck's going to get reshuffled with it, so if we can... Nope, but Freeze Beam is decent as well. Now you can see she's doing a lot more, right? So this is doing 10, this is doing 24, and she's got a bomb coming up again in the next turn too, so a little bit dangerous, admittedly. Although this one's now dying because of the cold, so that's useful. How much else can we do? Like, I guess we'll just do... We've got the barrier to take it, so we'll just do the damage here, because if we can proc Blizzard maybe, that would be enough next turn. I don't know, this is the barrier, right? Yeah, 9, so we've got to do 25 this turn, which is possible because of extending armor. Alright, good. As you can see, it's going to be like 9 times 3 is the attack here, but that's fine. Once you kill the boss, the summons that they have will go away as well. That's a fairly normal thing. And, okay, this is going to be a bit more of an interesting setup then, because we don't have the red exhibit from Reimu here. We have the white one, so there's a bit of a decision to make on this now. Alright, so Reimu's white exhibit, if you have any unspent mana at the end of the turn, you gain free barrier. Usually you're not going to have unspent mana, but, you know, if sometimes it's better to, like, if you've got useless blocks that otherwise won't do anything, sometimes it's better not to spend them, just because you'll get the barrier for the next turn as well. Like, if you're already over-defending, it doesn't matter. So, yeah. More importantly, this gives us white cards, which might actually be more useful for what we have here. So it's probably what we're taking, but to show what the other ones do, when you use your spell card, when you have Hit Spring, when you have the Doll of Announcing Spring, you gain 15 life. So that can actually save you in a pinch as well. It's pretty useful. But yeah, green mana, not the primary one that I want to go into here. It would be blue mana that I'd want. And this is pretty solid too. If you play an ability card, which is the barrier one that we have at the moment to draw an extra card. If we play an ability, then 2 random cards in your hand cost 1 less for the turn, which is pretty good. So Ice Scale is also really useful. But I think just for the sake of showing off more cards as well, I think I'm going to take the Purification Rod here. And there is one card in white mana specifically that I want to get. It is a rare, so we have a chance of getting it here. So let's see what we get. No, but this is pretty good too. Actually, there's 2 kind of good ones here. Okay, so as you can see, being in early access and stuff, this card doesn't yet have a picture for it. I imagine it's going to be something to do with Kaguya for stuff here, because, you know, Tree Ocean of Horai. That is one of her attacks, after all. For each mana of a different color spent, this synergy card does 9 damage to every enemy. If you spend at least 7 mana, you get a card from your exile pile back into the hand, which is pretty cool. If you upgrade it, then it does 10 base and 5 mana is the limit to spend, so that's neat. You do have to spend a lot of different colors of mana to make this work though, because I'm pretty sure like rainbow mana only counts once for this, so yeah, it's a little bit expensive. Lakeside Dance is one of the most busted cards if you've got the setup for it. Currently we don't know, and it would take quite a bit for us to get there, because abilities do not count for exiling stuff. This, by the way, got buffed in the most recent update patch, because this used to cost 2 mana on this bit here, 2 in a blue, and now it's 1 in a blue. Upgrades, it costs 0. This card is absolutely insane and is a very good tool for going infinite, but again, I don't yet have the setup, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get the setup, so I'm not going to go for that. What I am going to go for is Absolute Zero. This card upgrades to only cost 1 blue mana, which is absurd. Literally absurd. And what it does is it increases your cold multiplier by 1. So if you apply cold, which this does, then your actual cold damage when you apply it again does 27 instead of 18. This very quickly gets out of hand, and we are going for that 100%. Okay, Megumu is not one we have fought against yet. I think it's the only character, yeah, because we fought Yuko last time. It's the only character we've not fought against in Act 2, so that's pretty cool. She is also aligned for blue mana, so we're at least guaranteed to get a useful exhibit at the end of this one. Okay, easiest decision to make here, we go this side because we can go any one of these depending on what we get, so we could do some useful stuff with that. Alright, let's see what we're dealing with here. So, once again, of course, Extending Arm is the first thing we want to do. So we'll get our Philosopher's Mana back. So we can't immediately put Cold on these guys because they do start with an Amulet, which is a little annoying for Fairy on Ice. Good to get the Grays here, but it's a little tricky to do. So I think we're just going to use it as a card draw right now. And see what can we do from here. Freeze Beam is kind of good. We can knock him out if I use the bomb. I just don't think I want to. But what I could do, if I use Freeze Beam, I don't quite have enough to use Absolute Zero as well, which is unfortunate. Like, what I want to do here is like Freeze Beam, Absolute Zero, and Glacier, but that's too much mana. Can't do that. We could take no damage this turn if we use the Heavenly Water Miracle, because we're going to have spent 5 blue mana by the end of this turn, which means our Ice Cube will be online as well. That's reasonable. Not exactly very aggressive, but it is respectable, so I think that's what we'll go for. We do that and then spend the last bit on just doing a shoot. Because I don't really want to waste a bomb on these guys. This fight is not worth it. We might need the bomb for an event later on, or just one of the extra fight stuff for this. So I really don't want to use it here. So I think we are taking a little bit of damage this turn regardless, because I don't really see a way that I'm getting enough damage output here. Once again, without using the bomb, it would just not happen. So I think we are taking the 9×2 would be the thing here. No, it's even more than that if I don't use the bomb. That's gross. Alright, we'll use it. So we put Cold on. And now we can put Cold here, and that stacks to 18 and takes it out. Super happy with doing that, to be honest, but the alternative was I was gonna take somewhere in the region of, like, you know, more than 20 damage, and that's really bad on the first encounter, so we're not gonna do that. Oh, wow, I want all of these. I think I really want to take Play with Water, because that card is so good. It is very hard to pass up Free Shot, though, because if we can get just like 2 more of those, we can probably get Frost Armor to the point where it is no longer going to be a concern. But oh, it is so rough giving this up. I'm going to take the Free Shot, but I think Play with Water is probably the better card to take here. I really want to get that Frost Armor built. Maybe the fact if it wasn't upgraded is the reason I shouldn't have taken it, but I really wanted it. There's not much else to say. Alright. So for this one, even though it is free blue mana, I think I am actually going to go for Absolute Zero here. So we'll put the Cold on, and now, yeah, the Cold reapplying thing, which we'll do in a sec, is increased. From there, we could go for Fairy on Ice. Free Shot is enough that we don't take damage, so that's probably better. We can graze both attacks, which is fine, or we could just get the Frost Armor. We'll have 3 Frost Armor by the start of next turn, so that's okay. And then when we put the Glacier on here, 27. Its Keystone thing only does damage reduction on attack, not when you apply cold. So yeah, 27 damage, pretty respectable. And from here, we don't have enough to Extending Arm, but we plus Blizzard. And then we just take a lot of damage off of this though, which is not where we want to be. So I think we just go for Blizzard and Leafy Protection here. Because now we're not taking damage, and we can still do a reasonable amount of stuff here. What we really need is something that generates cold a bit easier than what we have right now. Because right now it's a little bit expensive to get cold to trigger. So we gotta kind of work on that as we go. But that's fine. Decent bit of money. And the next card... okay. Ones that are worth talking about, if nothing else. Gift of Nature is pretty fun. It's a nice rare to find here. For 1 mana, you give 1 card in your discard pile Echo and put it back in your hand, which is pretty good. If you upgrade this, then it also gets Echo, so you play this card twice before it goes away for good. Pretty solid. If we had taken Lakeside Dance, this would probably be a snap pick, because you exile this card, right? So it draws a card alongside that. Very, very nice. As it is, it's fine, but maybe not what we need here. Definitely not one we're taking this time is Lava, like Eternity. Not really useful for us whatsoever. Poison doesn't do much. The upgrade effect is kind of nice, but paying 2 green for it when we only have 2 green, not super good. And the ultimate skill, we have to take like 4 turns of her being in the hand to get up to this. It's not really going to matter. So yeah, not happening. And then Panoramic Shot is intriguing, but I don't think we've really got the best base to work with this. You only gain 12 block as a baseline, which is super bad, but for every unspent mana that you still have, it increases the block total. When you upgrade it, it costs 2 of anything, so it does become quite good in decks which have inbuilt, like, start of turn mana stuff. So if you've taken, say, Marissa's Exhibit, and you've got the gain 2 black mana at the start of the thing, or if you've got anything like the Black Lotus and whatnot, that increases your mana on the first turn, then it can be okay. As it is, I don't think any of these are actually going to make anything happen for us, so we're going to skip here. But Gift of Nature is a good card, just in a different deck, I think. It could be good to recover the... recover like any sort of ability you couldn't play in a turn. Alright, who we got? Oh, we got Patchouli. Very nice. So, probably the strongest of the 3 for sure. We still haven't seen Junko yet during one of these, which is a bit of a shame. We'll get there eventually. But yeah, we'll convert one of our mana. I think it's just going to be the green mana. If you convert the white mana here, then you no longer get white aligned cards to show up, because you don't have the base mana to play it. So I'm keeping that around because I do like that. But that is actually a trick that you can do. If you come across Junko or Patchouli, you can convert your off color that you took just because you like the exhibit from the character, right? You can take the off color one and convert that into either rainbow or double colorless, so we'll just call it that as the thing, and then you no longer dilute the pool of what you're searching for. So that's kind of cool. So now we have a choice. As it turns out at the moment, the exhibits we have, there are not very many of them. There's a reasonable chance that the chopper will get sold if we keep going as is. But I kind of would like to show the new shop thing, so let's do that. So, what is new here is we now have card service instead of remove card. Also, this is really good. Yeah, so if we go card service, we can now either remove a card, which, by the way, removing a card no longer costs more than 100 money at most, so that's pretty good. Or we can upgrade a card. Upgrading a card still costs money, which is something that you don't have from Yukari, unless you've got the new request thing on. But it means that you can take shops like this, where I would have taken an upgrade every single other time. But here, I can afford to take the shop, because I can actually get an upgrade here as well. So, what else do we want is the thing. The smart speaker is really, really good, but I don't think right now we even have... Oh no, we have Absolute Zero. If I upgrade Absolute Zero, then this is actually something we would want to start with every game. So the smart speaker is really interesting to go for there. Because we do have a white mana, by the way, we are now able to find cards that cost 2 white mana, like this here, because the rainbow can pay for mana, like, as an extra thing, but it can't be used as the only reason you can find a card. So we can find double white cards if we, you know, like, if we want to, I suppose. I don't know if we want to, but, like, we can find them. But, yeah, we just can't, like, not natively do so. Okay, let's take the smart speaker and use it so that Absolute Zero will always be in our opening hand. That seems pretty useful. We'll then spend on the upgrade. You can only either get an upgrade or a card removed, so there is another bit of balance there. I cannot remove one of these leafy blocks from my deck, which is a little bit of a shame, I suppose, but we really want this upgraded. So we'll spend to get that. Means I can't get the Tengu Clog, which is a shame because that's also really good, but whatever. We will also... Wow. It is just... Sometimes it is just so annoying to deal with that thing. Whatever, it is what it is. We're going to take On Thin Ice here as one of our things as well. It upgrades to only cost 1 and has Replenish, so we'll definitely like try and do that at some point. But even just as it is, it's just a card cycle, which is pretty good. You gain a blue mana as well as spending one, so that is totally fine. So we'll take one of those, and then Bonds is the other thing I'm sort of thinking about. I do have a lot of defense already, so like maybe it's better to take the Icy Rose, but I don't have great cold generation right now, so maybe that's not worth it. Bonds gives your teammates Unity, but I suppose we don't have many teammates either, so maybe that's not worth it. I can't buy that and get Lily. That would be the perfect solution. Maybe we'll just take Lily in general, actually. Lily is quite useful. Yeah, we'll show Lily off. Why not? Okay, so from there, we will take our trade, see what we get off of that. Unfortunately, not getting to sell the chopper. Never mind. I think if we sell the smart speaker, it no longer has we no longer start with this, which is annoying. I love the Alexa reference there. So we're not selling anything, which is a bit of a shame, but it's fine. Let's do the usual bit for the trade hub stuff here. We gain more power after we do every fight. That's reasonable, I suppose. Yeah, we're not going back to a shop because it's too expensive at the moment, so let's just go for the events. Okay, one-time Blizzard would be pretty okay here. No such luck. Okay. So just gotta think real quick about how exactly I want to do this. I think Play with Water probably makes sense to use here, because if we can draw Blizzard, we could still play it. So let's go for that. No, but we do have Letty. Will Letty do it? I think so, because Letty 10 damage and then the Cold... Yeah, Cold will do 27, so that should do it. We'll discard this because we can't use it this turn anyway. So, we will start, of course, with Extending Arm, because why would we not? Get ourselves the extra mana back. We don't get the damage because of Graze, but that is fine. We'll then go Absolute Zero, which puts Cold on everyone and increases the Cold damage stack. We'll play Letty, and use Letty to do 10 damage at Cold. The 10 damage gets caught by the Graze, which is annoying, but the 27 is really good, because now they're going to die to the Cold, being 9 damage there. And we can make this guy die as well, because we have the Glacier, so he'll take 27 extra from that. And at the end of the turn, the Blizzard just kind of takes everyone. So, yeah, actually works out better than getting Blizzard, I think, because I didn't have the extra, I would have had to spend an extra mana that I didn't have, so, yeah. Okay, I think all of these cards are actually different from ones I've seen before. Frozen Specimen exiles, yeah, up to 2 cards in the hand and adds that many Glaciers to the hand, then exiles itself. This is just meaning I really could have taken Lakeside Dance, it would have been great. But Absolute Zero is super powerful too, so If you upgrade this one, then it costs 0, so otherwise it's like 4 mana basically to get 2 of these. Thankfully the Glacier retains itself, so you don't have to use it in the same turn. This might still be worth taking though because of the upgrade path. Cleansing Ritual, already upgraded, which is kind of nice. Gain 20 block, and then I wish it was you may exile a card from the hand, because having to exile one makes this a little bit dicey to take. But, you know, 2 white mana, gain 20 block, pretty okay. And then Instant Body, the ability, if you play a common card, you gain a temporary firepower. If you upgrade this, then it gives you 2. So yeah, the Narumi card, not terrible. I think I don't normally like taking this one, and it is still a little dicey, but I think I will take the Frozen Specimen here, because I think if I get it upgraded, costing 0 mana makes it actually like super worth it. Okay. Here is an intriguing one, Futo as your event for this bit. We are going to have to spend the rest of our money, but we have 3 different options as to what sort of thing that we can divine off of her information gathering. We can either reveal the boss of the 3rd act, so we get to see who we're fighting and prepare the deck accordingly. We can reveal the first friend event in the 3rd act, so the first event that we would get to, or we can do what we're going to do, reveal the first item of the true final boss. If you do take one of these, it immediately saves, so you cannot save scum this. And her first item is the pendants, so it will attract more and more enemies. We're going to have the summon as the first one. That means exhibits are safe for at least the first 3 turns, which is most of the fight, so we should be able to get some powerful exhibit stuff going as well. That's interesting. Good information to have. So keep that in mind as we go, that we will probably want to make sure that we don't have stuff that just hits like random enemies and whatnot. So yeah, just keep that sort of thing in the back of your head as we go. Let's upgrade probably the free shot, because again, more frost armor is very handy. So we'll do that first. Next time round I'm probably going to upgrade Frozen Specimen, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so how do we approach this opening turn? Now, Optical Camouflage does not prevent damage from freeze statuses and whatnot, so the cold status. So we can actually do a lot of damage to Nitori on this first turn if we just go Absolute Zero into Blizzard into Glacier. And she's already taken like well over half of her health before she does the summon. The summon this time is the Purifier, so it's gonna potentially be nasty as we go. I have a lot of block this turn at the very least, so we can do good stuff with that. Yeah, so I think it's just gonna be do as much block as we can. Ah, but I don't have the green mana for that. I think I messed up the ordering of the turn there. Oops, that's not great, but whatever. Again, you've really got to pay attention. I mean, we still get 3 barriers, so like, we're going to take a decent bit of damage here, but it's not the end of the world. Again, pay attention to what mana you're getting off the stuff here. It is very important, and I'm not doing a very good job of showing that right now. Alright, draw cards, see what we can get. We've got to discard one of these goobers. Probably going to be the Ice Shot, to be honest. And then we will go on Thin Ice, so we can see what the next card is. Do I need block this turn? No, because I'm probably killing... yeah, I'm definitely killing Nitori here, so we'll put this at the bottom of the deck. Draw a different card. Fairy on Ice is good, because it means I guess I could Graze if I want to. Is that necessary? Who knows, but I might draw Blizzard, so... Oh wait, can I even draw Blizzard? No, it's not in the deck, so... I'm a fool. It's fine. Okay, so from here, we can... Freeze Beam, Letty, probably. Freeze Beam, Letty, and Free Shot? Seems good. So let's do that. So you do that one, into this, into... Yeah, Free Shot means that I will just guaranteed survive this turn. So yeah, we'll do that. And yeah, the cold randomly hits Nitori, so it will take her out here. Very nice, very nice. Obviously a ton of block that we didn't really need here. We are getting Purified this turn, so our 2 blue mana is going to go. Oh well, that's okay, we can spend it on this instead. And now you can see the frost barrier is already sort of built up a little bit. We can survive pretty much whatever we want now, which is good. We do need an attack though, so I've got a draw here. Extending arm, get some damage off. And yeah, pretty straightforward game loop with this deck at the moment. We've got one more turn for Letty, so if any luck we'll draw Blizzard. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter here, because it shouldn't survive this turn anyway. I won't play with water. What is it doing? It's doing 14. We've got enough to survive that anyway. Just thinking, we have Lily that we could play. We're getting it back up to 6 mana, so we could do Lily plus. I think we will take it. Freeze Beam. Alright, fair enough. We will go. Is that better? Like, Freeze Beam? Definitely. Then it's just. I guess these are probably better, but I like the extra mana. But it's dead anyway because Letty's going to put cold on it, so it really doesn't matter. So we'll just do that. Overthinking things as usual. Oh, another umbrella. Yeah, Carcass is really solid. Even if we manage to get every single card in our deck upgraded somehow, it will still hit the Glacier at the start of the turn, so that's really good. 8 block on the first turn, very good into Sager as well, because it means you just don't take damage for the first like 8 cards you play. Oh, see, now you're just taunting me. That's annoying, to be honest, that we took the other one unupgraded, and we just get that one in as well here. Oh well, it's fine. Soul Torch or TNT. Soul Torch is definitely a good exhibit for sure. Prevent the first time that you would lose life each combat. Very nice. The other one is the 25 damage to every enemy at the end of the start of the 4th turn of combat. Both are very good. It's just which one do we think is better? Probably the Soul Torch is better. There are certain fights that will drag on. I'm gonna take the Soul Torch. Sometimes that will save you from like a super strong spell card or something. You just don't have the defense to tank otherwise. Alright, let's go up. Gloomy Kappa fight. Okay. Well, first off we've got to play the arm. Like there's no other opening play that makes sense here. Wow, all the noisy vehicles coming out today. I'm sorry. We are like quite late at night too. This is yeah, 9:15, so it's kind of shocking actually how many of these are around right now. Let's just go ahead and apply the cold here. We'll just take him out. 27, pretty solid. Then spend our remaining mana to get the barrier as well. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. We do live next to a main road and stuff, so when people decide they're going to have super noisy bikes, it is just going to be the way it is. Hopefully it doesn't get too irritating as we go. Alright, let's put that to the bottom. We get a worse shoot out of it. Whatever. So, the two ways that this turn could go is we can play Blizzard plus Free Shot is reasonable, or we could do Lily plus Free Shot plus Shoot. I think I'm going to go for the Blizzard play because that is the more aggressive option and we'll get a lot of damage output on both of them here. So yeah, puts them down into range of like another AoE, but I guess we're not drawing an AoE because we only have the one, right? But, oh no, we have this one. But we don't have anything else to go with it. But that's fine, because we have Frozen Specimen. So we'll use that, we'll get this damage off immediately, and then Frozen Specimen will exile our 2 defense cards, because we don't need those. And we'll get the Glaciers that will just automatically take out the enemies, thanks to Absolute Zero. Very good, very good. Mountain Echo is pretty interesting. It does still cost 1 when you upgrade it, but it makes you able to play, like, you know, the same card a couple of times, which is pretty good. Not really too fond of the Talisman. We've got enough defense cards as it is. I think I'm just going to take on Thin Ice here. Just take another cycle card. Okay, what do we got? Narumi. Okay, we can actually get a little bit of use out of this too. So, Narumi forces you to lose a card in your deck, and you'll gain a reasonable enough reward based on the card that you lose. Like worst case scenario, if you remove a common card, that's totally fine. It just gives you, or one of the basic cards, it gives you 1 max life, which is decent. It's tempting here actually to remove this version of Frozen Specimen, because this one does cost a lot more, but I could just upgrade that at the next store. So yeah, we're just gonna do the basic thing here. We're gonna remove one of the blocks I don't want, and she's just gonna give us a little bit of max life. If you give her a higher rarity card, then you will gain life healing as well as more max life, so that's pretty useful. But if you give her a misfortune, she'll get angry, as they say, and try and like punch you to do 1 damage. It's adorable, but we don't have one there, so whatever. Frozen Specimen upgrade. So now we have both of those. Reasonable. Alright, Yomu. We fought Yomu before. She has the lock-on effect, so the more damage that, the more time she hits you, the more that you take damage from her, like you get lock-on added, so her next attacks do more damage. That's the idea. Okay. So, like I said with the Karakasa before, it did actually upgrade. The Glacier, when upgraded, costs nothing to play, which is very nice. From here, we're just going to go for our usual sort of line of play, I think. And free shot. So we'll get that going. And we'll keep the Glacier, because then if we draw Extending Arm, we can use that. She does gain Graze as well, which is a bit annoying, but it is what it is. I think we can also gain some Graze here, actually, which is fine, because we'll draw and then gain Graze. Definitely play this, see what we can get. I was hoping for a shoot, but you know, I suppose Lily kind of works here too. When you play Lily, she does have an effect to do damage 3 times, so let's do that. And then we'll go 1, 2, and 3. So that gets rid of the Graze and also does a little bit of damage. And now it means that the Extending Arm can actually do its full damage amount, which is very nice. From there, we are grazing one of these attacks, so we're not actually taking the damage off it. So let's go for Frozen Specimens the rest of this turn. Exile these 2, get ourselves the Glaciers, because we have absolute 0. This is like 54 damage that we're doing here off of 1 card. Pretty strong. And now Lily, at the start of my turn, is going to increase her Unity and give me an extra mana as well. So we've got lots that we can play here. I say that, but like most of it is not actually that relevant. Anyway, we have Blizzard. This is accurate, of course, like I've said before. Gonna punch through the thing here. And, you know, probably just use Frozen Specimen here. Like, it's not ideal, but it kills us, so it's ideal enough for me. Right? It's a shame losing a lot of cards that you don't want to lose, but... Oh! Well, hello there, not Golden Snitch. It flies fast and fetches a good price. Yeah, 300 money just for acquiring that. So, that's pretty good. We can take an extra shot later. Oh! Well, see, I want, like, 2 of these. I don't really care for Summer Ice too much. Do random damage a couple of times and then gain mana. If you upgrade it, it gains a rainbow, pretty sure. Or does it gain 2? No, it gains 1. This got nerfed very slightly because it did used to do 8 damage 3 times. So, very slight rework on it, but it does gain a rainbow. That's cool. Doesn't gain it immediately though, whatever. Spread Amulet is really good, 12 damage to each enemy, gain Barrier for every unblocked damage dealt this way. When you upgrade it, it removes the blue from the cost and also now does 14 damage. This is a difference in the most recent patch. Very, very strong card against like group fights. And this could be pretty good against Seija actually, because we know that the pendant is going to be the thing. So this is very, very tempting to take. It is hard to pass up another one of these though. We've passed up a couple of the draws. I still think this might be the best play, but I really, really like Spread Amulet, so I am going to take that this time. And you know, it is super tempting just to upgrade it immediately too. What else do I need to upgrade here is the question. On Thin Ice is a really good card to upgrade, but I don't know if I need to upgrade that right now. Letty going to 5 Unity is pretty solid for boss fights and such. Blizzard doing 24 damage would be fine, but I think reducing the mana cost is probably the thing I want most here. And this now reads like, for the boss fight, it's do 14 damage, gain 14 barrier for 3 mana, which is not spectacular, but given that boss fights are not really the core crux of it, I'd still say that's okay. Alright, so Megumu. She's relatively powerful just by herself, like 8 times 3 off the bat is pretty strong here. Her gimmick is that if you pay her, she will go easier on you, which means she will actually go away from the fight. It's like, oh no, I was defeated, or she'll actually leave the fight at a higher HP threshold, right? So normally you've got to outright kill her, but if you pay this once, I'm pretty sure she goes away at 80 HP remaining, and this goes back into your hand. You can pay her multiple times if you've got the money for it, which we do, but we also don't want that because that would be rather uncouth of us here. What are they doing out there? I think it's somebody who's just whatever. One sec. For some context, we do have a little bit of an issue with joyriders at times. There may have been that sort of thing going on. We live next to a school with the car park and stuff there. Nobody's using that during the summer, of course, and during the evenings we do have a little bit of trouble sometimes with boy racer type stuff going in. Anyway, that is not what we're here for. We are here to spend a white mana on Thin Ice. Shoot's probably not mattering this turn. This is pretty good, so we'll use that straight away. And now, obviously applying Absolute Zero. That's got to be in basically every fight. Where do we want to go from here? We want to use the Glacier, probably. Just being able to apply cold again this turn is what's important. Might even use the bomb, actually, to make sure that goes through too. Oh, we can exile the Bribery card. That's pretty fun. I have to discard a card, so we will discard the Boundary, I think, here. Because I probably want to exile Ice Shot plus the Bribery. See what else we draw, though. Letty is good. I don't think I can afford to use Letty here, though. Like, actually afford to, because I need to play Free Shot as well. So we'll do that. Frozen Specimen, discard, exile Ice Shot and Bribery. Gain our 2 Glaciers for later. And now we can Free Shot and apply 2 of the Glacier. Because we already have enough block, we don't need to play this one. So we'll just apply the Glaciers here. And because we don't have Firepower in the deck right now, we'll go for Perfect Freeze and gain more damage off of that too. It's pretty solid, like over 100 damage on the first turn. The problem ends up being, like, this is kind of where it caps out, right? We can do quite a lot of damage in one turn, but it ends up sort of tapering off, I think, is the problem. But it's okay, we can still do some good work here. So what we're going to do is we are going probably get some extra mana here, actually. So we're going to go for Lily. And we will Freeze Beam. Get the cold on, and In Plain Sight is probably the best bet. In Plain Sight means that I will take, like, very little here. Yeah, I'll take less barrier damage if I use this. I was tempted to do Fairy on Ice, but I don't have any mana left to play cards anyway, so I think we'll take less damage overall on the barrier if I do it this way around. So now she has 3 Greys as well, which is super irritating, but we can work around that by using the cold to our advantage. Blizzard is an obvious first thing here, because we do just get our accurate damage going, which is nice. Using the spell a second time could also be useful here as a thing. Probably not doing that though. Now the problem with Spread Amulet is it does actually have to deal damage, which is something it can't do with this hand. So I think this is a time where we're just going to exile it in one of our blocks to gain the 2 barriers, the 2 glaciers, and we'll just block as much as we can, because that means we don't take barrier damage. She is going to use the spell card next turn, so we do have to prepare for that. And here we'll just use our 3. We do gain a little bit of barrier because we had 1 unspent mana, so I guess Reimu's thing's coming in handy a little bit there. Put a bunch of status cards in our deck. I would have loved to have frozen Specimen Dem instead, to be honest. We just didn't draw it at the right time, so there is that. Now, her spell card does 32 and increases the potency of her attacks and status stuff as she goes along. We can't block all of it without the Ice Cube, but we are going to get the Ice Cube this turn. We've got enough mana saved up, so we'll do that, and probably just get Letty here. Now, if I was to spend Lily this turn, you could use free Unity to gain an extra 3 mana here. If you upgrade her, that blue mana becomes Rainbow, but we haven't got that far yet, so we'll just get rid of... Oh, I should have done it the other way around. I didn't see she was only on 1 graze left. I could have done 3 extra damage there, but it's okay. So we'll still get the cold damage off, and now she's going to do 32. That barrier that we saved earlier kind of comes in handy, and she re-gives us the bribery when she plays her spell, so if you've lost it otherwise. So that's the timing for it. Unfortunately, we can't get rid of it anymore because we just don't have any tool for that, so that's a shame, but oh well. Now you can see she's doing 10 times 3 here, so she's doing 30 damage instead of the 24 that the fight began with, so yeah, a little bit scary, not gonna lie. Here we've just got to do as much as we can in terms of defense, to be honest. There's not a lot of stuff we could do with this turn, so we could have maybe used the spell card, but I don't think I need to right now. We've still got a ton of health, so hopefully we just don't take damage for the rest of this is the thing. And Frost Barrier would be a way of doing that. Let's see. Very on ice first, because yeah, I was thinking Blizzard is probably going to be drawable. We are going to take no damage this turn because she's doing 24, so we can get away with the cold there. Yeah, mostly just considering if I wanted to use Lily in that turn as well. Lily's ultimate skill gains life back, which is, I guess, decent if you somehow get there in like a normal fight or something. But yeah, I think it was the right idea not to do that here. Let's see, can we finish her this turn? Not with the cards we have in hand. 2 grays is still quite a lot. So I think if we play the newspaper, at least newspaper does count as an attack to get rid of grays, and then see what we can draw. That's not bad, you know. On Thin Ice might get us there? Not with a newspaper. Okay. So we still need... Oh, I mean, Freeze Beam just kills her anyway, right? I'm just trolling at this point, right? Yeah, Freeze Beam just kills her because the cold doesn't get stopped by grays. So, yeah, whatever. Okay, usually I do end up seeming to fight. I fight this way more often off of Megumu than I expect. Astronomical Telescope could be pretty solid. We do gain a decent bit from our blue stuff, and gaining astrologies to just dig further into the deck is pretty good at the start, so that might be worth taking. The random option this time is the old style Miko costume, which is also good. It gains 2 block for every upgraded card in your hand at the start of every turn, so that's pretty solid. White mana is still like fine, but we haven't really found anything that uses white mana very well, so probably don't need to take it. It could give us option for like tricolor stuff though, which might be handy. There's like Faithful Meditation, I think, is one that Reimu could give us at that point, which would be pretty good. And then the green option, also solid here actually, adds green to the pool and then removes 2 cards from the library. So if we did that, we could remove 2 of our basic cards that we don't want at this point. Very powerful. Just, do we need another green mana is the problem. I would rather take blue, I think, but I guess green mana could be okay as well. All of these have got a reasonable chance of being useful here. I want to take... I'll take the green one, actually, because I think getting rid of two of our basic stuff here is fine. I mean, we just got a green mana, so it's a bit easier to pay for that now. Yeah, I'll get rid of these two. 100 money, and... Yes! This is the one I want. Okay, all three of these are sort of worth talking about here. Pure White World is the card that I wanted. At the start of each turn, this ability applies cold to the opponent, so we just get a generation of that straight away. Super good, and if you upgrade it, it doesn't cost less, but it does apply cold another time. This was the whole reason I wanted to take Remove's thing in the first place, because this is a really strong card for this type of churno. Ice Block is a very funny one. It does have a different artwork as well if you prefer the chibi doll style one here. I guess it's kind of like the secret from Hearthstone. You can't lose life for a round, but you lose all of your defensive traits and your hand gets kept. So you do draw a new hand at the start of your next turn, but this is your final thing you do in a turn. It also costs 0 mana if you upgrade it, so you can weave it in at the end of a turn. It's a decent card, but I don't like it too much personally. It's not really my style. Shikigami Protection is kind of neat. It's one of the Discover type cards. It costs a fair bit, unfortunately, and that cost doesn't go down when you upgrade. Your choice amount goes up, but it lets you spike some random cards. It could be good because you can get any sort of random card you can pay for from this, so that's neat. But it's uncommons, so it doesn't get you stuff like, you know, Lakeside Dance or whatnot. Obviously, we're taking Pure White World. That's the card I wanted, so yeah. Our fight this time is Sanai, who relies on, is kind of good against us, to be honest. So this might be a bit difficult, but we shall see. I think the obvious thing to do is go down this way because we have the choice of a shop or the Yukari, depends what we feel like after this. Here's a new visual effect on the Lovesick Girl. You do need to remove all of the lingering regrets, and every time you remove one of these little bits goes away too. Very, very fun. Unfortunately, Spread Amulet is super bad into her when she's still got all of the regrets up, so we can't really do anything with that. So just gonna have to play our other stuff down, which is fine. See, what else do we... I mean, this is a good draw, because it means we don't take damage this turn. So, yeah, I'll take it. Absolute Zero, of course, still got to apply. Now, the thing is, Absolute Zero, applying cold, that's a debuff, but the actual... So, we can't really do anything with that. So, just gonna have to play our other stuff down, which is fine. See, what else do we... I mean, this is a good draw, because it means we don't take damage this turn. So, yeah, I'll take it. Absolute Zero, of course, still got to apply. Now, the thing is, let's even. I was kind of tempted to do that anyway, so... Yeah, I don't know. I could have played that a little bit better, but it's fine. Still don't have access to any of her regrets, which is a shame, because I could kind of do with that right now. We are taking... She's doing 24... Yeah, this ain't looking pretty. We're taking a lot of damage this turn. Not super thrilled about that. Oh well. We'll do the cold apply because that is going to be useful here. I think it's just got to be Freeze Beam. Like, it's not going to do a lot of damage, but at least the cold will do a reasonable bit of damage. So there is that going for it. And we'll exile these two. Get at least a little bit more down. Yep, gonna be taking 11. Except, it was 11 times 2, so our Soul Torch actually prevented the damage entirely. I kind of forgot which order stuff was in there, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards, so if we play this first, that's fine, because now we still get to play this and gain mana off of it. That was the idea. And then we can go there, free shot, so we get Frost Barrier for next turn, and Glacier's going to do a little bit more damage now. Yep, 16. So we'll do that. And hopefully draw into more of the regrets here. Yeah, so that's the Soul Torch like coming in handy there. If she did any more damage with her opening hit there, if she was doing the 13, the Soul Torch would have absorbed the like 1 or 2 damage that was left off the first hit, and then she would have done full fat from the second one, which would have been very unfortunate, we shall say. So yeah, kind of glad that wasn't the case. I think here again, I would say we're taking damage, but we're actually not, because we do have a lot of barrier, like 26, so we are taking a little bit, unfortunately, but I think it's still okay. So we'll take these 2 away, grab ourselves 1 more. Oh wait, we could not though. Yeah, if I do Barrier and Ice, then I get a graze point here, so I'm not doing more damage, but because I get the graze, that avoids the first of the 13, so then the second hit goes into the barrier, but that's fine. Because I still don't take damage there, so just avoiding it as we go, just barely, but we're getting there. And now we basically have game on board, as they say, because we can do 27, 27, 27, and Spread Amulet. Doesn't quite take her out, but the cold will, so there we go. No damage taken. Surprising, actually, that was kind of close. Thank you. Here's another one of our good payout stuff. That does 2 here. 2 good payouts and then 1 pretty respectable card as well. So Flammable Ice, you gain, this got a rework recently because this used to cost 2 blue, and it used to reduce its cost for every enemy that has cold on in that turn. Now it increases the firepower that you get instead, and it costs 1 less blue color to begin with. So pretty solid, like we could definitely make good use out of this card. Icicle Machine Gun is what we want though. This also got buffed recently. The base card does 5 damage 6 times to random enemies, but if you hit an enemy with cold, it does double damage. You can see it does cost a lot though, 3 of anything plus 1 blue. The buff that it got, it used to do 6 damage 6 times, so this did get nerfed very slightly, but now it only costs 3 mana, so it's a lot easier to bring in. More darker is always good. Mountain God's Rope, this normally costs green-white. 13 block and 1 ward. Ward is the effect that prevents status effects from being added to your deck or exile or whatever. Like discard pile, it exiles the cards instead. So that's useful. Going to 2 mana, 18 block plus 1 ward. That's pretty solid, but we definitely want the machine gun, because we will be applying cold basically every time, and being able to do that with the white world is very, very good. Another instance of this. Yeah, I'm not sure I actually want to take this event this time. So we could lose 10% of our life, gain the remove impurities like I did in the previous fun. We could take the Misfortune, but the Misfortune is pretty bad for us here, so I don't really want that either. Increase in max life is good, but I think I'm going to be okay. We'll be fine. That's fine. I'm only here to catch. Aw. I mean, that's nice of her, but I've never seen that actually. I think I've always taken that event one way or the other, but yeah. Alright, AoE the fights. We do have Icicle Machine Gun, which is very good with Absolute Zero, so that's probably good. Let's see what else we can get. Pure White World. See, if this was upgraded, this would be like a fantastic time for it, because Pure White World plus Icicle Machine Gun would also be stupid strong. It is not, however, so I don't think we're taking it. Oh, Fairy on Ice is great for this fight though. So here's what we do. We play Absolute Zero, that puts cold on everything, and then we go Fairy on Ice, draws our cards, and then because every enemy has cold, we have 5 grays, and there are only 5 attacks coming out here. So even if nothing died this turn, we have enough grays to survive against everything, which is pretty spectacular. Unfortunately for them, they are dying this turn, so let's show them how, because we're going to get rid of a couple of our doodads, get ourselves an extra Glacier pair, and now because of the cost reduction on this thing, we can go Darker Time if we want. But before we do that, we'll make sure that it hits as many targets as possible by applying all of these glaciers, this one upgraded by the Karakasa, so that we don't have to do like damage to targets that don't need it. So 5 damage 6 times, 10 damage 6 times, because we have the cold on everything. And yeah, everything except her is dying this turn. But we have 5 greys, so her attack does not matter. Such is the power of the Ice Core machine gun. Spread Amulet also would have been stupidly strong in this fight, because it would have done 14 damage to everything, and I would have gained 14 barrier per enemy, so we would have just been infinitely survivable at that point as well. Okay, some decent card. Meditation I think we've seen in the previous run. It's not very good. It takes common cards, so I mean I guess that's whatever. Sometimes they're decent. Fairy Assembly is pretty reasonable. 3 mana, your max hand size becomes 12 and you draw 4 cards. So 3 mana, draw 4 with a little bit of an upside, pretty good. If you play a lot of teammate stuff, then it's actually good. So we could take it just based on this, because it's like 3 mana, draw 4, your teammates gain 2 unity. So what's her face, Letty, could stay in the game a bit longer. That's kind of nice. It doesn't have to be a summoned teammate either, which is pretty good. Speaking on teammates, Kasumi is the other one we have here. This is ironically more of a Sakuya card than a Cirno card, but whatever. It does damage to the enemy with the lowest life, because she's the knife-based maid, and yeah, we totally haven't seen one of them before. Anyway, yeah, by paying 2, her teammate skill, like you use, I think it pays 3 normally? Yeah, it pays 3 if it's not upgraded. It does damage to the lowest enemy immediately, it does this effect, and then adds 2 throwing knives to the hand. And then if you can pay 5, so you spend a couple of turns of her in play, then you do damage, and any additional Kasumis you have, damage, so it'll be like 20 damage to the enemy with the lowest life. So the more of these you can stack, the better they become. I don't think we're really going to need to use it here though. It's tempting to take the ability, to be honest. We have a pretty small deck right now. I'm actually going to take this because, yeah, it's an ability. We might not want to use it against Sanai, but 12 card hand is something we can feasibly get to at times here. And even then, it's just a 3 mana draw 4, right? So that could be really good. Alright, Takane, what have you got? Okay, so not really super happy about too many of these things. We might take another shop later on, to be honest, so I don't necessarily have to spend too much here. Social Butterfly, unfortunately, isn't very good. It's an interesting card, but it's just too expensive, and it's too delayed as well. You still have to pay for the cards, so it's eh. Basically what it does, for 3 green mana, you add a teammate to your hand at the start of the turn, but if you don't play that teammate, it does disappear. So you can't just stack them. I guess you could discard them, but still not great. And then the upgraded version starts in your opening hand. So fine, but again, you have to pay for these teammates every turn. So it's not amazing, to be honest with you. The other ones, like Sweet Potato, I guess if you want to gain life at the end of a thing, that's kind of cute. Butterfly's Wing Beats is a win condition by itself, but you need to get it at the start of the game, basically, because, yeah, you can upgrade this any number of times that you want. Normally, cards can only be upgraded once, so there is that going for it. But you have to spend like all of your upgrades on this, making it stupidly strong. It does get stupidly strong because it upgrades logarithmically, so it's like 18 damage at first, plus 6 on the first upgrade, 7 on the second. Very quickly. If you get this to like plus 6 or 7, it's doing over 100 damage just by itself. That is not something we can do, obviously, at this stage of the game, so we're certainly not taking it. And then the Reimu specific card here, I actually kind of like this one. Aggregate Border is a very big defense card. Getting 40 barrier for 4 mana is pretty respectable. And then any barrier that you have left will explode at the end of the start of your next turn and do damage to every enemy. So That's neat. Works very well in combination with Spread Amulet, actually. Being able to hit like 4 enemies, gain 48 barrier or whatever. And this as well, like any damage you don't take, because you're basically not taking damage that turn, any barrier you have left is just going to kill everything the next turn. Gains 50 barrier if you upgrade it. So it's a strong card. And it is cheap. It could be worth it, because we have got the pendant one to worry about. So maybe. Other stuff that we have here, if we spend 5 white mana in a turn, we gain 3 life, twice per battle. That's kind of neat. Tengu's camera is probably worth taking, because you gain 2 lock-on to every enemy at the start of a fight. This will take away one of Sanai's amulets at the start of the fight, so taking that. And then the cookie, we don't have any life to heal, so we don't really need it, but gain 4 max life and heal to maximum is pretty good, so that's worth it too. The tools, I'm actually going to take a tool for the first time in this one. Energy Drink does not exile itself as well, so if you do draw it twice in the same game, you can, or the same combat, you can do that, and it'd be great. So that's cool. And then the last one, I guess we are going to upgrade because we've already removed card stuff, we've already removed that, and we want Pure White World, so we will take that. It really is just a question of, do I take the aggregate border, because it is cool at the very least. I'm just not sure that I need it. It's a lot of mana to pay for one card, but 40 barrier? You don't get that on like any other card, basically. It's certainly interesting, and the fact that we're getting more barrier from the Ice Cube means we could maybe spike some more damage out of this too. Nah, I think I won't, but it is a valid option to take here. That is for sure. Alright, Sumi, what do you want as your card here? Of course you want Pure White World, you're not getting that, but what else do you got? Oh, okay, there's a couple of cards worth talking about at the very least. Cold Logistics Chain, this would have been a fantastic one for the smart speaker if we got it at the same time. You, for 1 blue mana, choose a card from the deck and put it into the hand. It gets retained, so you don't have to play it the same turn. If you upgrade this, it goes 2 cards out of your deck. So really good for fishing out what you need. Super strong, to be honest. Crossing the Border, okay card. Gain 5 barrier for, I think this also got buffed recently. Gain 5 barrier for, like, the cost came down. 1 white plus 1 of anything, and you return a card from the exile pile to the hand. If you upgrade it, it costs 1, so that's decent. It also exiles itself, so like this is a really good card. Never really had the chance to play with this one. Maybe this could be the game. And then the Day the Sea Split, another one of the tricolor cards. This could also be pretty fun, to be honest. Costs white, green, and blue mana, but you gain 3 rainbow back, so you don't actually have to pay. It's like an upfront cost, but you don't technically have to pay anything for this for the turn. It's a Fiber Jar. Return all cards from the hand and discard pile into the deck, shuffle it, draw 7. And if you upgrade this, you get to hand pick one of the cards out of your deck as well. Pretty good, to be honest. Is it worth spending 125 on? Yeah, I think so. So we'll take that and grab ourselves the Day the Sea Splits. Then we get our eye cream as well. Not really needing that right now, thankfully, but Yukari certainly does. So speaking on, let's go see Yukari. I think we'll take the event path here as well. Seems reasonable enough. Okay, so one thing about this opener, looking at it, is that we could use the bomb and just get rid of both of these. That seems unnecessary though, you know? Kinda seems excessive to use that here. Free Shot is pretty good. We do need to watch how many spells, how many like things we use, because we will give her more firepower, but that one I think we can deal with. So I think this turn is just going to be a spend the Letty turn, probably. So we do that. Apply cold. Yeah, because this is doing 5 and 5. Yeah, we've got enough defense. So apply the cold with the Glacier. And then spend Letty. That takes out both of the Vengeful Spirits. And does quite a lot of damage to the Tengu as well. So she's down at 48 plus the 10 block, but that's fine. Let's see. Not a lot of offense options, huh? That's probably still okay. Use the arm, use the blizzard. And we are on... yeah, we're not quite on enough, so we gotta use the block here as well. Gives her just one more firepower, but I think we take her out next turn anyway, so we should be fine. We better take her out anyway, because she just put vulnerable on this, and that's not great, so... but we do, so it is all good. Also for turn 20 block, etc, etc. Right, this time we're definitely taking it. Banquet Infiltration is one I didn't mention before. Gain a Graze for 3 mana is really bad, but 2 random cards in your hand cost 1 less is like a decent thing for it. Gaining 2 Graze on upgrade, that's passable, but now we're definitely taking Play with Water this time. I have skipped it far too many times. Satori! Hello! This is an interesting one. We did get this last time round, but ooh, upgraded uncommons do seem pretty nice here. Trying to think if there's any commons and stuff that I would even want, like any non-upgraded stuff. Nah, I think we'll pay for it. Do we have Violent Tendencies? Yeah, kind of. So we'll get Cirno exclusive, and do we want mono or multi? Multicolors are kind of cool, but I don't think there's any multicolors that do cold synergy stuff, so we'll do monocolor here. Frozen Matrix would be great, but it's a rare, so we can't take that. Oh, hold up. Wait, teammate stuff might actually be playable with this. Blizzard is really good, but we already do have one, and it's a bit expensive to try and play multiple times. We only have one Letty too, so it's not that amazing. Call on Friends is one of Cirno's better cards, to be honest, especially upgraded. First off, shoutouts to this one having different artwork for the basic and the upgraded version, because the basic version only has common teammate stuff as the main bit, but when you upgrade this, it automatically has a Fairy of Light included too. These are off color for Cirno and are very powerful, so yeah, definitely taking that one. Remember to take it on an empty stuffing. I am curious to see what it's going to be, what that event is going to be like for Koichi. It'll be fun. Anyway, yeah, upgrades for... There's a lot of cards that we don't actually need to upgrade anymore. I think maybe taking on Thin Ice is probably just the best upgrade here, although I really do like the Data Sea Splits, like, guaranteed thing. I'll take this, so we can show it off. Yeah, you do need to take this event the first time you see it, because if you don't, then you don't get to give her the eye cream, and you don't get to go to Sager for the final boss. So you need to do that every time. Just don't forget. Hell, repugnance. Yeah, laugh it up, get your summon going. Now, if you've taken like any stealing based stuff as you go through the game, this judgment will actually increase. Right, so if you see Mystia's event and you dine and dash, then she'll start stronger than what she does right now, which is actually pretty fitting, to be honest. Okay, let's see what we can do. Frozen Specimen. We're taking 18 and 14, 32 on the first turn here. We don't really have anything that can help with that right now. I'm gonna bottom deck this. Yeah, free shot's much better for this opening. That is for sure. Let's do our defense stuff first then. Our defense did get upgraded too, which is quite good. So we go there. Now the one thing is I can't play Lily in the same turn if I want to play Absolute Zero, and I really do want to play this. So I think this might be the time to use the Boucher. So we'll use that, gain some extra mana, and get Absolute Zero going here. So I'll do... Yep, we've got 2 lock-ons, so 7 damage 3 times. And then I think it's better to play the Glacier than it is to play the Ice Shot, to be honest. Because we do gain a little bit of barrier from the unspent mana, but more importantly, it's just we get the 27 off of the cold here. Okay, once again, that's a lot of 25. It's a reasonable bit of damage. I don't really have the defensive stuff to take it. We might draw it if I go Fairy Assembly, that is something to consider. I could also just Icicle Machine Gun though, whilst they have Lock on, because that's 6 times 6, which seems a little better. So we'll go these. Okay, it's 11 because it adds on after. Right, fair enough. I didn't know if it doubled first or after, so now I do. So it's 5 times 2 plus 1. Okay. Yeah, and might not be the strongest turn out there, consider. But we do not take damage because of our Soul Torch, so we get our one-time reprieve. Now we have a lot of mana to work with here. So we'll go Pure White World, that's going to put the cold. We can actually go Fairy on Ice and have 2 Greys here if we want, because that means we don't have any damage to worry about. See what On Finesse does, don't need that. Play with Water could be decent. It's just thinking, because if we're going to play this, then this is not going to be like in hand guaranteed, unless, like, I mean, we could technically pull it out, but I think it's probably, like, we could still summon Letty, but I think it might be better just to like take Blizzard here as a thing. So we draw 6, and then we get to see, oh, we do have one of the mana freezes in hand, it's kind of annoying. We draw 6, and then we get to pick whatever card we want. Icicle Machine Gun could be funny, but I think this does more damage overall. So we pick the Blizzard out, Extending Arm, because at least we get some mana back off of that. See what we get off of this. Fairy on Ice? Well, that gives us our Greys. Do that. And then, yeah, Blizzard. And tiny bit more damage. So we're wearing them down quite quickly, and yeah, Weaken is going to be annoying now, but Pure White World, still going to do the cold thing. Mana Freeze is irritating for sure. What if I just, like, Frozen Specimen now? Because I could convert it. Like, I'm still going to have to pay 2 for it. Which is a bit of a shame. I mean, I'm going to have to pay 1 for it, which is a bit of a shame. But we can convert it into a Glacier, so we can actually do the cold stuff here as well. That's pretty handy. Machine Gun, I think, is the rest of the play for this turn. Let's ditch this then, because we can't afford to play it here. We go Darker. That's a lot of concentrated damage on Shigi there. Sure. If we do, I think I've got to do it this way round if I want to take out Cirno. So, unfortunately, not quite enough to avoid all damage here. So we are going to take 5. I could have used a bomb, but it's a bit of a waste, to be honest. That's okay. Taking 5, I think, is acceptable in this situation. Now draw an extra card. Do I want to draw another free shot? I feel like I kind of want to just, like, try and go for the kill, right? But I suppose it's a good backup plan. So this one we do not have to discard, and we do redraw a Lily, which is nice. That's one thing. If you have summoned a teammate, you do not have to pay for it a second time if you discard it like we did earlier. So that's good. Because I think if we do this, it's 10 plus 27. Spread Amulet is the other play. And then it's 10, puts down at 37. I think I do want to just have some extra mana here. Let's see what this does, right? Try and work it out. Yeah, we need just a little bit extra, so we'll spend Lily, get the extra mana, do the 5, might as well just do that anyway, and the cold will take her out. 5 damage taken, that's respectable. Oh, perfect. Leaky Ladle is so good for us here. One of the strongest exhibits in the entire game. Whenever 3 skill cards are played in a turn, draw 2 cards. All of those draw cards that we have, they're skill cards. So we're just drawing like a ton extra here. And this might help as well. I would love to oh man, I would love to take the free shot. I think that's also really good. Spring is here as a very fun card though. For 1 mana, add 3 random cards that have a total cost of 1 in the hand. They have Exile and Ethereal and ignore character restrictions. If you upgrade this card, then the cards themselves will cost 1 mana, so you can pay with any mana that you've got basically. It is very, very fun. I think the sensible play is to take the free shot though, because we do want to get Frost Armor, so yeah. Okay, Leaf is interesting. When you pay 5 green mana, you gain a Grace, and the Dreamcatcher makes it so this has been changed actually. It used to be that the shot would only cost 50 for removal, but now that upgrades are a thing as well, it's a little bit different. When acquired, remove a card from the library, gain 10 life, and gain 30 power. That is actually really nice. Also known as a Hoover. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm going to take the Dreamcatcher then. And we get to remove the last of those blocks. Don't need that when we have the Frost Armor, so yeah. Also, you may notice there's no text from Cirno here. Like I said, it's the latest character to come in. It's a bit, you know, she's not the most complete compared to everyone else. She actually doesn't have any idle animation as well. That's something which I noted fairly quickly, so we'll get there. That's the whole thing of it being early access. Oh, this one again? Oh, okay. Random ability could be interesting. Yeah, alright. 9 life, random ability, what are we gonna get? Hakuei Temple Fair. Temporary Spirit could be reasonable, I suppose. Gain some maximum life. No, I think we'll just leave it at that. It's a tough one to justify spending a lot of life on this, but it's fine. 18 health lost for an ability that we probably don't need. The greatest trade, if I'm honest with you, but hey, sometimes it just be like that. Okay, let's see, what do we do here? This is a difficult fight because the Terminator drones are very irritating. You can see they have a new effect for the defense matrix as well, actually, so that's a cool one to see. Oh yeah, this fight is rough because they're already doing like 36 damage here, which is a ton to try and deal with. Absolute Zero has to be played for sure. That just goes without saying. I think we want to play with water here. We do have the access to Extending Arm. That is good. Okay. We can survive this turn, I think, but we're not doing as much damage with Spread Amulet as I would like. Because unblock damage is a thing, so we've got to get rid of at least some of this first. We can do that, but it's a bit on the awkward side. Okay, so clearly we want to use the Extending Arm regardless, because we do need to get as much mana as we can here. Just gotta try and see if we play like 2 more skill cards we can draw, but I don't think that's really the issue here. Ice Shot's not going to be necessary. Fairy Assembly? Do we want to play that in this fight? I don't think so. Glacier definitely is useful. Also, I should note the cold actually stuck because the amulet got taken up by the Tengu's camera, so the lock-on actually tried to apply. That got rid of their amulet, so they do have cold inflicted from Absolute Zero, which is very nice. Okay, I'm thinking Spread Amulet plus Free Shot is the play here. If we do Spread Amulet, it's doing 14, so that's 18 barrier, and then these guys take half damage, so I think that's 8 because of the lock-on. It might actually be like half first and then the plus, so 8 or 9, we get 18 from that too. So we get enough barrier to like survive everything basically. I think that's what we want to do. Yeah, 39, that is plenty. I think maybe actually putting cold on this again is good here. The Leaky Ladle then draws us extra cards. Don't have enough to do the Day to Sea split, but I don't think that's really that big of a deal anyway. And using Shoot does not take this guy out. So yeah, Free Shot will be the play, I think. I don't want to use the shake this turn because I want to save that for one of the boss fights. And we still have 28 barriers, so I think we're okay here. So the Hakurei Temple Pharaoh, for those who did not see before, it gains 2 temporary spirit for 2 white mana, and this actually got buffed as well, because it used to not give temporary spirit straight away. It used to only give it at the start of the next turn, which was a little bit annoying, to be honest, but now it gives it immediately, which is quite nice. Letty... probably worth the play. Problem, I don't have a follow-up for it is the annoying thing here. Unless I use the bomb, which, again, might have to do, to be honest with you. Because that's a lot of damage to take. We have a lot of barrier though, right? But it's just like, this is doing 30, this is doing 27. Even if I use this is the weaker free shot because it's not upgraded, that'll give me 13. I still don't even get close. And yeah, I think I've just got to use the bomb just to make sure I don't take damage here. Oh no, we broke T800. Now we broke you too. Get out of here. And Lily will do, I mean, the cold will do the job, but Lily can do it because to make her feel better. I don't know. Alright, a little bit of money, and well, here's the upgrade to Yummy Fruit Freezies. 23 damage to each enemy. I'm gonna skip here. There's nothing, I mean, the Vivid Colored Downpour one is actually kind of good because I've got a Rainbow Mana from Patchouli, but it's not good enough to the point where I want to take it here. Final upgrade one, I'm gonna go for free shot this time round. I might upgrade the teammate one the next time round, depends what we can go for. Hello Clownface, what have you got for us today? Okay, so the upgrade to Blizzard, like I said, 24 damage, pretty solid. Let's do... how do we want to do? Probably do just want to use the Data C split, actually. Because we get access to, what is it? We actually could just... So we could go to Call of Friends, but we could also do the Blizzard thing here, because we have Letty in hand. And that, I think, is definitely better here. So let's go take that, because we can summon Letty and now do Blizzard. So this will do a good amount of damage to Clownpiece, but at the start of the next turn, it is also going to do that damage to everyone now. So all of the fairy summons are going to take this 24 plus cold. Which I would say is a pretty good trade for me. Alright, what are we drawing? Play with water? Yeah, we'll take that. Let's go use the black mana for this one. Don't really need to discard any of these, so that's fine. Go for extending arm. It's been very useful taking that card, actually. It's quite powerful, so happy enough with that. Alright, draw more. I have to discard off of this one, and I think the discard should probably be the Miracle. Don't really need that. That was our third skill card, so Leaky Ladle comes in and we draw an extra 2, which is good. Is it Darker Time? I think it's Darker Time. Let's go for the machine gun. The one thing I'd really hope to draw from here would be Reimu's Amulet. That would give so much barrier that I think we could just win the fight on the spot from there. Let's go Frozen Specimen to exile the 2 damage stuff that we really don't need here. This gives us 2 more skill cards that we could play, so we could try and draw into, like get an extra 2 draws. Seems pretty good. So get the extra damage out. And worst case scenario, I'm just going to Glacier her to death, right? Seems pretty reasonable. What do I not need out of this hand? Probably Freeze Beam and Lily, to be honest. So we can exile those 2, get another 2 of these. The only problem with this is that now I'm not going to have enough mana to actually use the things. I might just be using Glacier for stuff here. On Thin Ice. Fairy Assembly, too late, I can't play that here. We could bomb again, and that would win the fight again without taking any extra damage. but seems a little excessive. But how else am I not taking damage here, is the thing. This Glacier puts it down low, but it doesn't put it down low enough. This one's dying to the cold, so we're taking 12 plus 7 plus 18. 19, 18, 37. I'm okay with that. Oh, or you could just hit the wrong target. I mean, I guess if it hit Clownpiece, we would have just won from there anyway, but 1 in 4, can't really fault that. And unfortunately, the Soul Torch doesn't quite work because we did take we took 3 and, you know, in the middle of that, so 6 times 3. First 6 got blocked, second 6, half of it got blocked, and the other half got Soul Torched, and then the last one, yeah, that was it. So, unfortunate, but it's fine. Clownpiece goes down this turn. We only took 6, and we have almost all of our power. The donation box is funny. This isn't very good, to be honest. You can fundraise at Gap so you get extra money, but fundraising means that you don't get to use the upgrade or recover health, so yeah. We could get another extending arm. Has been pretty good, but probably not that good. Swift Cool is pretty interesting. Gain 24 block, draw 2 cards, and then place a card from the hand at the bottom of the draw pile. That's reasonable. And then the upgraded Talisman is quite nice because it gives you Barrier, as well as giving you the 1-cost Talisman to gain some defense. I'm pretty sure we don't need any more defense cards in this deck though, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I guess we don't have that many. So maybe it's worth... I'll take it just in case. I think the other one's too expensive at 3 mana, so yeah. And yeah, let's upgrade the Fairy Assembly, because giving Unity is quite nice, so might be needed. Alright, lock on, gonna get rid of one of the amulets at the start here, which is good. Blizzard once again getting upgraded, huh? That's neat. And we have Letty. Ooh. Yes, sir. Wait, does this mean I'm not using Absolute Zero though? Because I don't know if I like that. Because I don't have the mana to play Absolute Zero plus Letty plus Blizzard. That's a tough one. Because not playing Absolute Zero at the start of this seems like I'm just going to waste so much damage, right? But getting... I think we're going to risk it. This is the first time I'm not playing this at the start of the fight, and maybe it's the wrong call, but we have all of her amulet gone already, so now we should be able to do a lot of damage as we go through. I don't know if this is going to work out right, but we're going to try, because I think it has a chance. Okay, first off, call on friends. This summons the teammate as well, so actually let's just get another Letty, because we can do more cold shenanigans with that. Seems pretty good. And yeah, we're going to take a lot of damage here, but I think Fairy Assembly is the play, because now, yeah, she gets an extra firepower, but we can have not only a larger hand size, but we also gain extra unity here, so these will stick around for longer, which is useful to me. And yeah, just gained a little bit of block I can. As you can see already, we have lost like 2 spirits, so we only gain 11 block off of that in plain sight now. It's not fun. Not fun in the slightest. But we'll make it. We'll get there. Luckily, it doesn't affect stuff like Frost Armor, and it doesn't affect the gain from the thing up here, the Ice Cube. So there are still countermeasures that we have, which is good. Play with Water seems pretty good here. The Day of the Sea Split is something that is worth considering. We do not have to discard out of this hand, so we will not. Yeah, let's use this now. We'll gain as much mana as we can. No point doing Spread Amulet because it isn't going to do anything here. I think using the Glacier is fine. That does draw a couple of cards as well, which is pretty good. So we'll go Specimen, Exile. The Boundary is so useless at this point because it's only giving 3 block. That's just miserable. So We're not going to bother with that. And do as much with this as we can. Draw an extra couple. Pure White World is really good. So we use that. And then I think I want to use one of these now. We'll do that. I think Frozen Specimen actually is worth using here too, because Spread Amulet's not going to be very good throughout this fight. Not only is it just hard to get through her block and whatnot, but it also just doesn't do anything for me, right? Because 3 mana, 10 like 10 or 14 damage. Gaining 14 barrier is nice, but I just don't think it does enough for us. Exile those, get these in, and I think now we've just got to do the Data Sea split. See what we can get out of it. We do get one of the Letties back, which is good. What have we actually got? Got one Letty, got the free shot again, potentially. I think the card to take here is Ab-Zero. So we can just use that now, gain the effect off of it whilst it's good. It is going to give her an extra firepower, that's never fun, but probably the best overall bet. And then that's... I mean, we gained more than enough Frost Armor and stuff here. We've got 18? Yeah. No, we had 10. So it's like 9 Frost Armor now for, you know, surviving these bits, which is good. Couple of cards to see what we can get. We got one of these in hand already. We'll go this one. Darker seems pretty good. We can gain a Grace Point that actually does matter in this hand, so let's do that. Draw an extra couple of cards too because of the Ladle. That's why it's so strong. And I do not quite have enough mana to play Blizzard plus the... Okay, so I think then what I'm going to do is I'm going to forego the machine gun. I'm going to do Blizzard and free shot. Because that gives me enough extra defense here, and Blizzard is going to trigger next turn as well. So we'll get the cold off of Pure White World, we will get the Blizzard trigger, and we've got 2 Letty triggers. I think we might take her out this turn actually. She's going to go for her heal, but I don't know if it's going to be fast enough. See what we can draw. Don't think we need to worry about discarding any of these. Standing Arm for just that extra little bit of damage. Let's go, yeah, Freeze Beam. Okay, we're not killing her this turn, but we're getting pretty close. Freeze Beam. And this is the only real useful card to play left, I think. Just get Frost Armor back up. But you can see, like, we're starting each turn with quite a lot of block available. So it's actually quite nice. We did draw one of her Moonlights, unfortunately. And she has Amulet back now. So we've got to get Cold back on her again. So, well, we do get Blizzard. Blizzard is a way of doing that. Because of this, though, we can't do Blizzard plus. It's irritating. Whatever, we'll do the Blizzard, we'll get the Cold. That'll happen next turn as well. The Cold doesn't actually happen because of our Amulet, but now we've got these two for the turn. And because of Cold, we only need to trigger Cold twice now in this turn in order to take her out. We don't actually have to go directly for her. Yeah, we just need one trigger of Cold, which could be the bomb, but I would rather it not be if I can get away with it. Keep drawing the Quiet Moonlight, so we're losing mana off of that. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we're getting it that way. Yeah, see, the boundaries are absolutely useless now because our Spirit is down so low. Oh, no, there it is. We get it, because we're going to get the blue mana back. So, Blizzard, get the Cold, take her out with that through the barrier. Cirno can actually do a lot of work here, it's just you often need a lot of abilities, so you're giving Sanae a lot of firepower for it, which is annoying. Okay, so here we could take the Harvest Fruit, so whenever a card gets added to the library you gain 20 power. Don't really need that bit at this point, it's just a green mana, but I think if we were taking green we're always taking Rainbow here. Philosopher's Stone adds rainbow mana and gains 5 more money when you skip a card reward. Again, we're only going to get that once from here, so probably not that great. The Tengu Barley Rice, we get another good card, another white mana here, and after every combat, gain 20 power. Once again, that part doesn't matter. So it's like, really, there's only one option, which is gaining Rainbow. Rainbow's good though, because we can pay anything with that, so... Oh, a second Pure White World. Okay, so last time we did see Reclusive Sage when we picked it up off of a random card effect. That's kind of cool, but I don't think it's something that we really want to spend our massive amount of mana on and stuff here. Pure White World, if we apply this twice, then that works really well with Absolute Zero, so that could be worth it because we are dealing with AoE target stuff as well here. The pendant is the first thing that gets summoned. The Great Hakurai Barrier is interesting, converting all of your block into Barrier. This allows you to play like a lot of defense cards and just go turbo into it, so that you can basically just go, not infinite, but you almost have inevitability on your side at that point. So this is also pretty reasonable. If you upgrade it, it costs 2 less to play, so that's kind of cool. But I think we take the Pure White World, because I'm pretty sure that stacks, and that should... I mean, I guess I don't really know, we'll find out. But I want to say it stacks, so we should be able to do some good stuff there. Frozen Matrix! That is also incredible for our stuff here. Yeah, cold abilities are very, very powerful. What else is there to talk about here? So Reimu, this actually got buffed as well. I believe it used to do 16 and gain 1 life. Now it does 18 to every enemy and gains 2. Pretty solid card. If we needed AoE, this would be one that's worth taking. If you upgrade it, it costs only 2, which is good. So like that's worthwhile. The I don't think I've ever spoken about Tranquility because it's never really come up that much. You gain 20 block, but if you don't play the card, it goes away at the end of the turn, it gets exiled. But if you up 16 and gain 1 life, now it does 18 to every enemy and gains 2. Pretty solid card if we needed. It's kind of nice. The Mizumaru teammate is Reimu's specific teammate. You gain a block and a barrier when at the start of the turn when the teammate, like the unity goes up, which is whatever. But you spend 2. Put this back into the discard, like use the card, spend 2 of its unity and gain 2 random orbs from the ones you can see over here. And if you manage to spend 8 and do the ultimate skill, then the effects of Yin Yang orbs get doubled. So this would be like deal 16 and damage, get 16 barrier, etc. And you also just add 2 random. Oh no, it's 2 rainbow. Yeah, it's like it'll be, these are all rainbow jade. Like it's just add 2 random orbs. So yeah. Upgrading it makes you gain 2 instead of 1 for the passive, so it makes it easier to keep using. The other stuff is Lunar Rabbit Incense. This lets you gain life as an ability, and then, so you did a little bit of healing, but then at the start of a turn you upgrade cards in the hand, 1 or 2 depending on the upgrade setup, so that's really good. And then Frozen Matrix, the one I'm most excited about here. Still using an in-game art asset because it's just easier to get the card going that way. Whenever Cirno applies cold to an enemy, gain 2 frost armor. Also applies cold to each enemy, so this really helps with the defensive side of things too. Upgrading this, which we will do, makes it cost 2 less. So absolutely need this, and that's pretty much going to be the whole place here. We're not going to be able to spend all of our money, but that's fine. We'll get this, and then new feature we can do is upgrade, right? Because we can just upgrade immediately with that now. So we'll do that. The upgrade at the shop means we can now get 2 upgrades within the final act here, which I think is pretty neat. Let's get Pure White World, so we can apply cold when we use that as well. Alright, Sager, what do you got? I think we've got enough defense here that we shouldn't worry too much. We know she's using the pendant too, so I think this one we are totally fine in. So we do that, and then let's see, we've got 2 rainbows so we can afford to pay the white there. Place that at the bottom, there's Frozen Matrix straight away, so we will absolutely play that straight away. Gain ourselves our frost armor. And, I think I can take a little bit of a quieter turn here. I'm going to go ahead and just get our extra card draw for future turns here. I was thinking about doing frost armor, but I think we'll do it this way, because this should be better in the long run. Okay, they have Graze, which means that Spread Amulet is a little less good against them. We don't really have a lot of ways of making that offense better. Frozen Specimen. Yeah, this really is going to be taking it a bit slower, but I think what we could do is use the bomb here. So we use the bomb because that gets damage on everything, but more importantly it gets rid of the greys. Gives us a bit of frost armor too because we're putting cold on 3 different things. But now if we do spread amulet, first time we're properly using it here, now we should get, yeah, 14 barrier 3 times. So we have more than enough defense on this now, and it's going to help a lot. From here, I think we will do Lily to gain extra mana every turn, just in general, and probably finish up with Frost Armor. She is going to do damage 8 times, so most of this Frost Armor is going to be going away here. That's why we really just want to get as much of it out as possible. I still haven't seen Pure White World yet, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that by now, but that's obviously not happening yet. Let's see. We've got 12 mana to play because of the Parasol this turn. So let's... I want to start with this, but if I don't draw a teammate, it's going to be a little unfortunate. I think it's fine. We'll get it. We haven't drawn one, so we didn't get the benefit of that part. But you know, extra hand size is good too. Pure White World can come out here. Even if the Frost Armor doesn't actually apply, it still gives you it, so that's pretty good. And now we can... There's a couple of options. We've got Icicle Machine Gun, obviously, is pretty solid. We could use the spell the second time, so we could get Cold on again. Call on Friends is pretty useful too. Obviously, Hakuro Temple could be nice. Frozen Specimen to exile a couple of the less useful things here is not terrible. Could just exile the Temple Fair because I'm never going to use it anyway. I think that makes a lot of sense to do because we have a 12-hand limit anyway. So get rid of these two to get our Glaciers. And we could do a lot of damage at least if we just throw all the Glaciers on Seija. Keeps our barrier from getting completely wrecked as well. I think if I'm going to do that, Freeze Beam is probably the better option. That just seems like the better play. Freeze Beam into Call on Friends is quite nice. I think I'll do that. Oh, by the way, I said we didn't get any Unity upgrade. We did technically get Lily. I was just hoping to draw Letty as well. Yeah, let's go for Call on Friends. I think this will be better. Yeah, because we can just get Letty off of this. Sunny is really good too, doing a decent bit of damage as you go, but I think Letty's the better one because it just works better for what we want to do. So we are retaining a lot of cards, but remember we have a 12-card hand limit here, so this is fine. And every single turn, the more enemies that more... So, yeah, really good. There's a 1 next to this. I did notice this as we were going through. So, if we play Pure White World now, it goes up to 2. So, yeah, as it says here, at the start of Cirno's turn, apply cold to each enemy 2 times. That's going to do 27 to everything immediately as well. So, yeah, this fight just has inevitability on our side here, so I think we should be fine. As far as what we want to do with the rest of this turn, though, I don't actually know. I'll be honest. No, we will just play Fairy on Ice. That just makes sense. It's like the rest of the turn. Yeah, it seems alright. Get a reasonable bit of damage off, and then, yep, that goes down. Next turn, that's going to happen again, and we'll just keep trucking. It's not doing a lot of damage every turn, so she is going to go quite far in, and there's the Decorated Cup. How much does that matter, though? The only... like, it matters a bit because we lose the Ice Cube, and the Leaky Ladle could be pretty good. So many extra effects off of that, by the way. Yeah, like the Leaky Ladle could be good. The Soul Torch would be nice, but I think we've got so much barrier and stuff around that that's not going to matter. honestly, I think we're okay without having to worry about losing our exhibits here. I don't think they're going to be important enough. We've got 2 greys still too, because we did get a lot of greys off of the Fairy on Ice. So I think we're fine pretty much regardless. Keep this because we'll get extra mana off of that. We've got card draw available to us as well. Now I think it's the turn to cash these in. Go Frozen... Yeah, Frozen Specimen on the basic block, and... I don't really want to get rid of much of this, so I guess Spread Amulet might be fine. No, I'll get rid of Free Shot. We've got so much Frost Armor building up here. 45 at the start of the turn right now, that is very strong. If we play one more of these, we draw extra cards, so we'll do that. Don't quite have... I mean, unless I use Letty. I think we will use Lily here. If we use Lily to gain some extra mana, because that'll let me do Call on Friends as well. Oh, we could just get it back. Get another copy. I'm okay with that. Get an extra copy, and Ice School Machine Gun. Darker Time. We've actually just about... I mean, with Letty proccing at the end of the turn as well, we've actually like maxed out the amount of damage that we can do to it here, basically. We're very close, anyway. So we'll just use Free Shot, just gain a little bit more fast armor, and you can see, just if you manage to get this setup going, we basically don't need to play like a lot of defense cards anymore. Because we already have 54. It's going to be, yeah, 48 battle block coming in at the start of every turn. To say nothing about our opening barrier tick here as well. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. We have so much block coming in at the start of a turn that we just don't really need to care anymore. Right? Like, what are you going to do? 52 damage? We already blocked that. So if you can manage to get this kind of setup, the generation, like the stuff you can do with this is absurd. I do not have to discard a card off of this, but I guess the Glare does kind of get in the way of it, so... I don't know if I want the Data Sea Split, but we're taking it anyway. Yeah, now I could just kind of do this. Obviously, Sager still has a lot of tricks up her sleeve if we let the fight go on too long. She does get lots of dangerous bits going, so, like, you can't take her for granted. But it's just like, I don't really need to worry about like losing at this point, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it's neat. It's like, just as long as I kill her within a reasonable time frame, then we are totally fine. Let's go for Sunny this time. So Sunny does damage twice to a random enemy at the end of the turn, and yeah, with a bit of firepower and stuff, that can get very dangerous as well. So Teammate Cirno is something we will see next time, and is super good in its own right. Yeah, so just look how much, I mean, we're gaining 8 more Frost Armor at the start of every turn as well, so it's just, yeah, our setup is inevitable at this point. It's actually kind of spectacular. Do our draw, don't really need to discard any of that. Let's go for this, yep, get that back in hand. I say back in hand, it's in hand for the first time here, I suppose, but that's fine. Do that. And Spread Amulet seems good, just because we totally need more barrier, right? And Darker. Takes that out. I do get poisoned as well, I guess that's a thing, but whatever, right? Because this will finish the fight. Because we've got Letty in hand that will do cold, we've got you that will do damage. I guess if we truly want to finish the fight this turn, we'll use Lily, so we can... oh, we can't use that one, but we can use the shoot. Is the shoot even enough? I think it is, yeah. Because you'll do 10, so 24, then this puts cold as 27, so yeah, it's enough. I don't think I needed to even do that, because the damage from cold would have been fine. But, you know, we win anyway. So, yeah. that is the power of Cirno and how cold she makes everybody. We didn't quite get perfect elegance because we did take damage against Reimu, I think, but yeah, it's pretty solid. We didn't take damage from most of the bosses. We took damage from most of the other fights, but that's fine. Yeah, extra mana and multicolors of mana in the pool gives you bonus stuff here, which is pretty cool. Fun fight, yeah, fun run. Sometimes Cirno doesn't go super well if you don't get like the cold stuff going, but if you can get enough frost armor, you generally become inevitable, as you saw there. So there's plenty of ways that you can make this work. And well, we did manage to get the card I was gunning for with the multicolor stuff this time. Pure White World is really, really good, and not much else to say with it. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this has been an interesting run as well. And next time, I guess we're going into the B-shot types this time with, well, we took her exhibit this time. Next time round, we're going to be playing with Reimu B. So, yeah. Till then, take care.